Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby. Thanks for joining us. Here we are, it's Tuesday. Remember Ben, it's Tuesday. Bank holiday weekends always sort of throw me off kilter, but here we are. If you're in the UK, hopefully you had a brilliant extra day off and you're ready for another exciting day here at Crafters TV. Two great shows lined up for you later on. Launch Party live at 5, where we're going to be looking at some of the big launches from recent times and also bringing you a brand new paper pad, which we might give you a sneaky peek of in this show. And in this show, a brand new launch too. One I know which you have been looking forward to, one which you're excited about. Our partial 3D embossing folders, which have already been very popular. Lots of you kind of getting up early, grabbing the deals before we even come live. I'll talk you all around the deals in just a few moments' time and tell you why you need to get a wiggle on if you're going for the showstopper as well. But before that, let me introduce you to the ladies here with me for the whole show now, and then half a show later. Basically, I don't know if you know, you might well know, Debbie Robinson was supposed to be here this week. She's not feeling so great, so we send her all our best wishes and love, and we say a massive thank you to this lady who has stepped in during her busy schedule, because she does lots of other stuff as well, and then at the end of the day, she's got to go elsewhere to do. I'll let her tell you about it. It is the fantastic Lilly Fletcher. I mean, like you needed more work.
I know, I think I was sat there saying, I'm bored, I haven't got anything to do. I think something needs to fill my time. So do you know what? Why not come on to Crafters TV today? But as Ben said, we are sending our well wishes to our lovely Debbie Robinson. Hope you get well very, very soon. But I am super excited to be here today because, like Ben said, we've not just got one brand new launch. We have got two new launches. We've got embossing folders and one of my favourites, a paper pad as well. But first of all, I want to whet your crafty appetites with these beautiful embossing folders. Now, how often do we talk about how much we love our florals, we love our butterflies when it comes to our crafts? Well, we have catered for those needs and loves in this fantastic embossing folder. And when we talk about partial embossing folders, what we mean is we've got part of that design with that beautiful embossed feature, and then we've left a little piece just a little bit blank there. So it's going to be ideal to pop your sentiments onto. How often do we sort of emboss a design and we want to finish our card with a sentiment, but we've not got that space, we don't want to cover that beautiful embossed image? Well, what we've done is we've solved that problem here by actually giving you a little space at the top there where your sentiment can nestle in perfectly. Butterflies, florals, you cannot go far wrong, can you, with those two gorgeous designs? No. But how about for all of those birthdays, those celebrations? We've got designs for that as well. We've got our champagne glasses there. It could be for your New Year cards, it could be a congratulations card. Lots and lots of different occasions covered, not just every day, but Christmas as well. What an absolute beauty that one is. We've got baubles, or for you guys stateside, our ornaments. How resplendent does that look? And once again, you've got that feature at the top there, that blank space, if you like, perfect for popping a sentiment onto. You've got those bells as well. It could be Christmas bells, it could be wedding bells, but as well, think about maybe using them on the side as well. Some of the designs will work in both landscape and portrait orientations. Bring in all those different mediums, bring in your inks, your Gildan Waxes, your different sorts of inks. It could be just leaving them white, embossing onto vellum. You could be adding your gems, you could be bringing out your pens. My goodness me, when it comes to embossing folders, there are so many different sort of techniques you can do with them, different mediums you can bring in. They're super versatile items to have in your crafty stash, and this is a bumper collection of those beauties. It
is, and I often say about, you know, embossing folders, like your creator card dies, will create you a card straight off the bat. Embossing folders, I really feel are like that as well. You know, one run through, adding a little bit of ink, and these even more so for the fact that they leave you that space to then add that sentiment or add that topper or add that embellishment. So a really cool idea. And again, Lily, I think for people who are just starting out in craft, a really good set to go for, because you're going to make quick, stunning, easy cards, aren't you?
Absolutely. Embossing folders are great because you can take them as far as you want them to be. They can be literally some coloured cardstock, run through your embossing folder, and because all that detail has been put into that embossing folder already, you're still going to get a beautiful card. But if you're maybe a little bit more advanced, or maybe you've just got a little bit more time to play with, bring out those different mediums. It could be your paints, your inks, your pens, and really go to town embellishing them up. But I love that. They are like a creator card with these. They're going to be that full 4x6 inch card front. Lay them up. Maybe bring in a few mats and layers to create your larger cards as well. They're just absolutely stunning.
Let me show you all of the embossing folders. I mean, you saw those beautiful cards with Lily, and I think, you know, that's kind of what really puts it in your sort of mind's eye, so the kind of things you're going to create. But let me show you all of the designs that you're going to get. We'll get the details up as well for you as far as the showstopper is concerned. It's a brilliant price, and I'll take you all through it in just a second, but here are all of those designs. So you've got your beautiful Christmas bells there, and once again, you can see that's the space that you can pop, as Lily showed you, a sentiment, you know, like Noel, Merry Christmas, whatever it might be. Nice as as well that those bells actually, you know, you can use for occasions right throughout the year. It might be a wedding, for example. You've got your snowflakes in there too, and I kind of feel like we've catered for many seasons in here because you've got your holly and your candles in there. It wouldn't be a collection, would it not, if we didn't have in there somewhere some beautiful butterflies. I noticed on that one that you had, there was like a topper butterfly. Was that cut out of this, or was that a separate butterfly?
So what you can do with these, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do this a little bit later on in the show, you can actually do like a little bit of a decoupage. So emboss your main one is your base plate, emboss another one, fussy cut that butterfly out and pop it on top. You've got super, super dimensional cards. Excellent.
All to come. Loads of demos lined up for you. I love this one. Maybe it's just because it's got a champagne bottle in it and I like champagne. I don't know.
Tuesday after all, I mean, what better day? Tuesday afternoon, celebratory days, of course.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing after the show. Champagne and balloons. That's what we normally do on Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah.
You've then got your swirling florals, which is that beautiful flower. You have got the birthday cupcake in there as well. There's some really fancy designs in here, actually, for all sorts of different occasions. And then lastly is the festive bauble, or for you guys in the States, your festive ornament. So you've got all of those brand new partial 3D embossing folders. If you just want to buy those either individually or just the embossing folders on their own, you can. But the main value for money, and the majority of people who've already shopped have gone for the showstopper deal, which is here. So it's all the embossing folders that I've just shown you. Basically, it works out like this. You pay for the embossing folders and your multi-purpose card, and because we are mad, we then give you your blending brushes, which have just come back in stock, which you couldn't get hold of for ages, for free. I mean, don't ask me, I don't put the deals together, but it strikes me as a bit bonkers. But they are going to come in very handy with a set like this, add in all of your inks to the embossing folders. 5 of those you're going to get within the bundle for free when you buy the showstopper. £50.39 or $69.59 is your platinum price. If you do just want the embossing folders, pick and choose individuals, you can. If you want them on their own without the added extras, you can. But as I say, the majority of people have gone for that showstopper. We've got just over 100 showstoppers remaining, so you will have to be fairly quick if you want to grab them. And just as a by the by, if you do want the blending brushes individually, you can also pick those up. Shop the show for all of the deals. We've got some great deals on things like your shimmer sprays, duet ink pads as well. And yes, producer Nicola, thank goodness you're here. If you do go for the showstopper, we have done a bonus buy for you as well, which is your metallic paint markers. So again, these are available for you as an individual buy. If you want to jump in and grab those, you can. However, if you pop the deal into your basket with your showstopper, that price of £40 or $50 is halved. You get them half price. And within each of these sets, you're actually going to get 4 sets of the pens. I've only got 2 here in the studio, but I'll show you the boards. You've got your 0.7mm, you've got your 3mm, and then your 4mm chisel nib within each. And these pretty much, if I turn that around, you can see on the side there, these will take to most materials. So whatever you're thinking about applying these to, whether it be your metal, whether it be your cork, if you like to do things like your stone paintings, you can, ceramic, glass, plastic, all those different things. The colours you're going to get within the set, you've got your rose gold, and as you can see, we've just done here on the cardstock for you, just a little stripe so you can see the kind of depth or the width of the nib on each one. So your 4mm chisel, 3mm fine, and that's super fine there as well. You've also got this laid down onto your black and your white cardstock too, so you can see the difference. So you've got your autumn bronze, rose gold, you're going to get your champagne, bit of a theme already today, and then you've got your blush included in there as well. £40, $50, but halve that price. It must be in the same basket though as your showstopper to qualify for that deal. Few quick hellos and then we'll get into it. We've got Jan on the socials today. Already in is Margaret saying good morning to the crew. Hi. Robin says it's 4 in the morning in CA, California. That is early. Thank you for setting your alarm. That is dedication. Michelle's in, and Crystal. Hello, Jeffrey says happy Tuesday, Ben and Lily, and the most fantastic and fabulous CTV crew. Lynn's joined us saying good morning or good afternoon, Lily, Ben and crew. Hi to Lynn Harvey, who says, hi Ben, Lily, the amazing team, the wonderful social superstar and everyone. And Crafty Mama says, good morning CCTV team and crafty friends from a hot and steamy Detroit. Love the embossing folders, says Michelle. And Pat says, hi Ben and Lily and all my crafting friends from a warm New Jersey. Keep the comments coming. If there's anything you want to see, please ask. And if you have any questions about the embossing folders or any sort of embossing folder dilemmas in general, general, fire them in because we're live and we love to answer your questions. So let's get going. So many embossing folders to choose from. Where are you going to start, Lily?
Do you know what? I think we've been talking all things Christmas for the past few weeks. I thought, do you know what? Let's continue that theme. Let's create a Christmas card with one of the most stunningly exquisite snowflake embossing folders, I have to say, I think I have ever seen. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And this is our sparkling snowflakes. Now, all of these embossing folders are about 6 inches by 4 inches in size. But what I like to do when I'm actually working with that 6 inch by 4 inch size embossing folder is I'll cut my cardstock to about 1/4 of an inch smaller. So that being with this one, it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. The reason being is when you're embossing, whether it's any sort of cardstock, any sort of embossing folder, whether it's a 2D, whether it's a 3D, whether it's a large or small, doesn't matter whatsoever. I always like to make sure that that cardstock actually fits inside that folder rather than larger. What can happen, particularly with your 3D embossing folders, is if your cardstock is larger than that folder, as it passes through that die cutting machine, that cardstock around the edges that's not within that folder, just because of that high pressure of the Gemini, it can actually wrinkle a little bit around the edges and warp that design a little bit. So I find best results, cut your cardstock to about 1/4 of an inch smaller than your folder, and that's going to give you those really professional results when you're embossing any sort of folder. So you can see that nestles into that folder absolutely perfectly. Pop your cardstock in. Because we're using watercolour card, it's double-sided cardstock. It doesn't matter what side of the embossing folder we pop that into, because it is exactly the same on both sides of the card. And this is where we start to build up our plate combination. So we're going to start off with our base plate here, which is our cutting plate. And because these are 3D embossing folders, the easiest way and the only way, I'll be honest, the only way I can remember it is, honestly, I used to struggle for years with embossing folders. 2D and 3D, what's the plate combination? 3D means 3 plates. 2D, it's that easy. Honestly, for me, it was an absolute light bulb moment. So if this was a 2D, you're going with your 2 cutting plates. But because it's a 3D, it means we need 3 plates. So we're going with our base cutting plate, we're going with our magnetic shim, and then we're going with our plastic shim over the top.
I might even start remembering it now.
It's so easy, honestly. For years and years, I used to have it written down.
Could you please tell producer Johnny, because he's been crafting since about 1932, and he well, in crafting I should say, and he can never remember the plate combinations. You think about the amount of shows he's produced. So if you can tell him.
Shows, yeah, we definitely will. But it was somebody that told me. I could not remember it for love nor money. I can remember all my die plate combinations, no problem at all. But when it came to my embossing folders, I just couldn't remember it. So just remember, 3D means 3 plates, 2D means 2 plates, and you will be good to go. Honestly, so simple. So simple. But it just make our lives an awful lot easier, doesn't it? Got a little bit of muck on there. Let's just get rid of our little bit of muck. There we go. So we have got our beautiful embossed design onto our watercolour card. Now you could be using that beautiful embossed side, but equally so, you could also be going in and using that deboss as well. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So I just turn that around for you so you guys can see. Look at that, that's a deboss. And that's the beauty of having your 3D embossing folders. You've got that incredible depth and dimension to these. Not just one layer of embossing, you've got your background, you've got your midground and your foreground as well. But we want to highlight that a little bit more. With it being white on white, it doesn't show up and doesn't show all of that beauty of the embossed design. So we're going to go in with 2 of our water reactive ink pads. This is our Midnight, and we've also got our crushed velvet. Now, any sort of ink pad that you use for blending, you can be using with your embossing folders. So it could be water reactive like we're using here. It could be some of your opaque pigment. I know both the Debbies absolutely love their pigment ink pads. Yeah. It could be your duet ink pads. I believe we've got a bundle of those on the show as well. If you want to check those out, I have to say I'm loving my duet ink pads at the moment. I'm using them an awful lot. Shimmer ink pads too, you can be using those. Those blend beautifully. So whether they're your gold shimmer ink pads or whether they're silver ink pads, both of them are going to work an absolute treat. Any ink that you can blend with, you can be adding over your embossed images. And we're just going around with our 2 colours. So I'm going to start off with that first colour, which is our Midnight. Using one of our blending tools, you could use your square blending tool, which, as we know, is not square. It's actually a rectangle.
It's a rectangle.
It's a rectangle. Who knew?
Come on.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But you could be using those. You could be using your blending sponges, or you could even be using those beautiful blending brushes.
Which you're getting for free.
For free, honestly.
Can you believe that?
I'm the same as you, Ben. I can't get over that. It's absolutely mad. I don't know if somebody put these shows together on a Friday afternoon.
Maybe.
When they were sort of ready for the weekend. I'm not too sure, but...
The thing is, we're our own worst enemy, aren't we? Because we've not had them in stock for months on end, and now we're giving them away for free within bundles. I know. The amount of times I've had people ask me, are the blending brushes back in stock? When are they coming back in stock? And I knew they were coming back, but it was sort of like, we're not quite sure when. So not only to have them back in stock, but to have them for free,
I mean, don't bear thinking about.
I kind of want to say, do you remember before the blending brushes when the ink daubers went out of stock and it was the same conversation there? And I feel like we did the same when they came back.
We did,
we
did,
giving them away
absolutely.
free within bundles.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad, but it's one of those when it comes to your inking, different tool, sort of right tool for the job. So as we move through to some of the later demos in the show, when I'm wanting to pick out detail, your finger daubers are the one to go for. For me, when I'm using my Duet ink pads, I like to use the blending brushes. I find I get the best result with those. But when it comes to my water reactives, I do quite like, as I call them, sponge on a stick. Otherwise known as a blending tool.
Sponge
on a stick.
So why these in preference to the other tools you just mentioned?
With these, you're able to cover a little bit of a larger area. Obviously, if I was going in with a tiny little finger dauber, it would take me ages to cover this full piece. And I just find I get a really nice smooth blend with that lovely quality foam with these ink pads. But as always, give all the different mediums a go, give all those different blending tools a go and find whatever works best for you. So we've gone from this beautiful emboss piece that's not got an awful lot of depth of colour to it. We've gone from that almost instantly to that beautiful coloured piece. But as always, let's take it one step further. So let's go in with one of our fine spray misters. And we're just going to give this a little spritz of water all over there.
Nice.
And with our water reactives, what happens when you add your water, you have that sort of faux bleaching effect. So it's going to lift that colour away as if we've almost like splattered bleach at that piece. So then let's just give that a moment for that water to sort of sink in and start off that bleaching process. And then just go in with a piece of kitchen towel or loo roll as we're using here, very glamorous as always.
Hey, it's good loo roll though.
It is,
it's not the cheap stuff. It's the one with the puppies, isn't it?
It certainly is. Very nice quality. So I was quite surprised when I found this in the studio. I thought, hey, this is all right, isn't it? Living the life here. But you can see there, that just gives us that lovely. It reminds me a little bit of snowfall, the way you've got those almost like snow droplets in the background. It really does add to that effect. But once again, shall we take it one step further? One of my absolute faves.
Oh, yes.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done, bringing in that Gildan Wax. Now, so often we think we can ink our designs or we can add Gildan Wax to them, but no, we can add both. Why not go to absolute town when it comes to your beautiful embossed designs? So pick up a really, really small amount. When it comes to your Gildan Wax, absolutely less is more. You don't want to go in really heavy-handed to start with and end up with a smear of Gildan Wax. It's one of those, start off small and then build it up as you see fit. Build up that dimension, build up that gorgeous metallic luster until you're happy with that finished result. So just going around with my finger. Quite a lot of people say use your small finger because you're going to...
that one?
The little one.
No, that one is...
Oh, is it that one?
Well, I always say this. When I was in shopping TV back in the day and we used to do like makeup and like putting on moisturiser and stuff, they always used to say use your ring finger, especially if you're rubbing it into your under eye.
Oh!
Yeah.
Ladies at home, nice little tip for you there.
Because you're more likely to have a lighter touch with that finger and
So
also
it's your
swoop
ring finger.
upwards.
Oh. Well, that's not the same with Gildan Wax, but you are going to get least pressure with that finger. So if you do find you tend to be a little bit heavy-handed when it comes to your Gildan Waxes, then like Ben says, use your ring finger.
Or you said little finger.
Or the little finger.
I just think with your index finger, you're more likely to like splodge, aren't you? Because...
I think for me, it's just one of those things, it's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So I always use that finger. I have to say in the past, I've tried using blending tools, like your sponge on a stick. I find it so much easier with your finger. I really do.
So you could use that with the Gildan Wax, could you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, later on in the show, I've got a demo onto black card, and we're actually going to use the finger daubers with Gildan Wax.
Well, that will be I was about to say, I've never seen any of our guys use the sponge on a stick or the daubers for Gildan Wax. It's always fingers, so there you go.
I did it on air once.
Yeah.
Because I think what I created a full-on background, so it's like a full gilded background rather than just highlighting a design. But I do just find it a lot easier to use your finger. Apart from the technique that we're going to do a little bit later, but you'll have to stay tuned for that.
Can I also just say, talking of fingers, before I forget, there's a lot of lovely comments.
Talking of fingers, oh dear. Fish fingers, chocolate fingers?
No, a lot of lovely comments
fingers?
about your nails.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll pass that on. I've seen a few and now I can't find them. But lots of people saying they like your nails.
Thank you very much, everyone
New,
at home.
Old?
Couple of weeks old
couple
now.
Of weeks.
I don't know if I've been on since I've had them done.
Squovels?
Squovels, as always.
Gotta have
like
a squoval.
that dye. Yep.
That classic.
I'm very boring. I always go for the same shape.
Producer Nicola gets her nails done as well. Do you go for squovels, Nick?
No.
Oh, she doesn't have squovels. No.
No, different shape for Nicola. Nicola always has lovely nails, I have to say. Do always admire the nails. Bit of nail envy there. But I have to say, sometimes they do help in crafting having long nails, and sometimes they're just nothing but a hindrance. Picking things up is always a little bit difficult, I have to say. But we do our best, eh? Right, so a little bit of matte layering there onto some navy pearl cardstock. I want to say that was from the Sarah Signature Snow Queen, although I could be wrong. Just a really nice dark navy colour. That's a little bit skew with, so we'll just go in and trim that off with a pair of scissors. There, that's a little bit neater. And then super quick card for this one. So like Ben was saying earlier, if you want these to be nice, quick and easy, simple cards, very much like a creator card with this one, then absolutely they can be just that. Now, I will bring in my finished card because I think I'm going to mix things up a little bit. You can see with this one I applied a lot more ink, so it's a lot darker. This one's a lot more subtle, but it's the same technique. And with this one we went for that lovely landscape orientation. But this folder works both ways, so do you know what? I think for our little card here, we're going to mix it up a little bit.
Oh,
so the pattern papers that we've used here are from the Winter Forest 12 by 12 pad. It's the one that came with the other one. I don't know what my glue's doing. My glue is being quite troublesome, shall we say. It's not empty, but it's deciding it's not going to work.
In a bit of a sticky situation with that glue, are you?
Well, quite the opposite. Oh dear, we've managed to get through 20 minutes without any dad jokes. And,
I do feel, because I think I had some of that glue given to me the other day when I was crafting with Debbie, and I think one of them was a bit gunked.
Yeah, I think it must be blocked because there's plenty in there.
Do you want me to get you a new one?
And this one's got a gunked, it's all going terribly well, isn't it, on this? This one's got a gunked nozzle. Luckily, I have one of these.
The ye old faithful.
Thank goodness for that. Watch, this won't work now. Come on now. Come on. Do you know what? Somebody's not done the flick. And sometimes if you don't do the flick...
Hey, I always do the flick.
I know you do. You do a very sort of ostentatious sort of flick, don't you?
Austin who?
Hey, can you imagine if there's somebody called that?
Ostentatious?
Yeah.
Is anyone watching today?
Let us know in the comments.
Surname Tatious.
Does anyone else love, you know, where you get names that spell out stuff like that?
Yeah.
So, like, instead of Victorian, Victor Ian.
Yeah, Victor Ian.
Yeah. I've always wondered, we were talking about matte and layering quite a lot. Is there somebody called Matt and Layer?
Matt and Layer.
If you're watching, Matt, let us know. I love stuff like it's daft, isn't it? But I love stuff like that. Oh dear. Oh.
We found someone called Chris Murst, did we?
Chris Murst. Well, it's feasible. It's very feasible, isn't it?
Come on then, let's get those in. Find any names of like people with. How would you describe? Like we've just done. I don't know how you describe that.
Sort of names that can. There must be a technical term for it, but names when put together spell out a word.
The funniest one, which is sort of what we're talking about, but not quite, was when. Do you remember when the petrol crisis hit here, like a few years ago, when they were kind of. There was a shortage of petrol, wasn't there? And people were queuing and all that. And they had this bloke, this journalist on the BBC, who went along to one of the filling stations where people were filling up their cars and filling up their cans. Yeah. And the journalist reporting was called Phil McCann. And I just thought that was like, if any journalist you could send to that situation, who have we got? It's got to be Phil McCann.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's quite insensitive, that, to be fair, isn't it? If he came up to the petrol stations, no one where he could fill the cans, and he was there called Phil McCann.
Phil McCann.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear. Oh, you know what? So it's the simple things, isn't it? Let's be honest. What do they say about small minds?
Yeah.
We won't go there.
No.
No, we won't. We'll just finish this card. Now, we've got our space there. Let's be honest, I'm not going to put my... Do you know, some people do techniques like that, and it works quite well, but I feel I can't quite pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Debbie Robinson do that before, but it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, but let's pop that along that space there. So just showing a little bit of something different. I do quite like the way it sort of protrudes over the edge of the card there. So same sort of idea. One card you can have your landscapes, but the other card you can go in for your portraits. A little bit heavier with the ink there, a little bit more subtle there, but that is how easy these fabulous embossing folders are. You can just add some of the inks, you can add some of the Gildan Waxes, start to build it together. The sentiment is actually from that Juniper Frost collection, and that works together. An absolute treat. Love these, but super easy and quick as well.
Would, asks Rose, or could you use a bit of glycerin when blending water-based ink pads, and would the bleach effect still work?
I have to say I've never tried it, but I wouldn't say why would you need to use glycerin with the water base, because it glides so perfectly anyway. The reason why you're using glycerin is if you're actually using your aqua pens, because your aqua pens, obviously they're not an ink pad, they're not going to glide as beautifully if you're scribbling onto your glass mat. That's why you add your glycerin into that, but I wouldn't be adding your glycerin necessarily if you're using a water reactor, because they are being formulated specifically to blend perfectly.
Okay, a few quick comments. Emma's got the embossing folder set in her basket. Yes. Good morning, Christine Mahoney says, I love these embossing folders. Are you purchasing? Let us know. Julie Palmer says, thank you for the new site discount. Put orders in. Now I'm platinum. Whoop. Rebecca joins us from a sunny Benidorm.
Where was our invite?
Sat by the pool with my Draw the Line and I'm watching CTV, says Rebecca. Perfect.
Oh, it doesn't get much better, does it?
I think we should do like CTV on tour at some point.
Yeah, CTV takes Benidorm.
Can you imagine?
I can't imagine, I'm afraid.
All of us poolside.
Yeah, crafting poolside. Oh, it'd be brilliant. We could, in the evenings, we could go down to Neptune Bar.
Yeah.
We'll put the idea forward this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll ask the bosses. I know what the reply will be.
It'll be a resounding yes.
Yes. And then we'll wake up. Kirsty D says, my top tip for embossing folders is to emboss a piece of card and store it with the folder. Then you know exactly what it will look like.
Ooh,
good idea.
We like that. Great idea.
Thank you for the information about the embossing folders, says Carol Byrne. So easy to remember now. Oh, yeah, the plates. Who knew it could be so easy? Sensational Sky says, I bought the Halloween Showstopper collection. Good morning, Marcella. And Amanda says, good morning, Ben and Lily. It's been 3 weeks since I broke my shoulder. I remember you saying about that. I'm going to try and join in. I think leaving the white snowflakes with a lovely tartan layer and a red bow will be stunning. Ooh. Just you watch your shoulder if you're crafting. Don't overdo it, for goodness sake. Michael says, hi Ben, glad you like Hercule's outfit. Yes, thank you for that picture. It was very good. I enjoyed seeing that. Sensational Sky says, I think I might buy the Gemini Midi so it's transportable. Ooh. Well, do it, is what I would say. And thank you, Amanda. This is what we're looking for. I went to school with a girl, so her surname was Carrot. Her first name was Nora. Nora Carrot.
That's absolutely brilliant. Nora Carrot. Oh, that's great, that. I hope she never got married and changed her name.
Oh, I know.
Can you imagine what a shame that would be?
Please send more of those in.
Yes, please do.
Good morning, says Kathy. Lily and Ben, I love this collection. And here's a quick joke for your collection, Ben. Why did the cell phone need glasses? Because it lost its contacts. Oh,
that's a good one, that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, we like that.
In Mechanicsburg. Whoop, whoop. Lois says, very pretty cards. Thank you, Lily. And this is much versatility, says Pat, with these embossing folders. Just as a quick by-the-by before we give you time to check out as well. By the way, only just over 100 of the showstoppers remaining. Loads more of you have checked out during that first demonstration. Tonight, we officially launched this amazing plaid pad. It is your harvest time plaid, 12 by 12, 36 single-sided sheets here. And do you know what? This is going to fly tonight, so get it now as we're sort of previewing it for you. We are rewarding the fact that a lot of you have got up early. $11.99, $15.60 is your platinum price, and it's all these beautiful plaid designs in all of your harvest time colours. Single-sided, which I know a lot of you love, so you're not feeling like you're wasting one side of the paper when you're crafting with it, but just such a gorgeous paper pad to go with all your autumnal, all your harvest makes, all your Thanksgiving makes, and you think about all of the harvest and Thanksgiving collections that we've launched so far, those fall collections, the Halloween collections that we've launched, and of course the Thankfully Blessed, which is coming up for you very soon. There is going to be plenty of opportunities for you to use this alongside collections that we've already launched and indeed collections which are yet to come. So bit of a heads up for you there as far as tonight is concerned. 2-hour launch party show this evening, but you can grab yours now if you're getting your brand new collection of partial embossing folders, and it's worth popping this maybe a few times into your basket right now before everybody gets up. Right, let's have a quick break. When we come back, more demos, more of your chat, and any more questions you want to fire in, so Lily, feel free to do that too. We'll meet you back here in about 4 minutes' time.
I like to get up, chill, relax, get a cup of tea, then get myself sorted. And if I'm presenter, I'll write all my notes. If I'm the demonstrator, I'll get my prep out, have another look at it, make sure that everything is the way it needs to be for the show, do the show. Then what I'll do is I'll grab something to eat, then have another look at the sheets again, making sure the next show's all good to go. Then we do that show, tidy. I always like to make sure that the area is nice and tidy, either for myself the next day or whoever's in. Jump in the car, head home. I will quickly unpack what I need to unpack, and then I get on that sofa as quick as I can. Soon as we go live, I love that within our live shows, I always get the butterflies. Soon as we get that countdown in our ear that we're just going live, butterflies kick in, and within about 10, 15 seconds, I'm going. Butterflies have gone, and we just enjoy the show. Early riser. Oh, shower in the morning. Tea. Oh, savoury breakfast. Masterclass. My mobile phone. Oh, anything with chicken. Currently, it is the weekend, Blinding Light, and it has been for about a couple of years, and I still love it. Apart from jumping in the car, chilling on the sofa, watching TV.
Tea first, and then from there it'll be meetings, and they could be commercial meetings, they could be creative meetings, I could be supporting one of my team. I also manage a large team, so it could be one-to-ones with those. Every day is different, but always a predominant focus on the products, how they're working, the new products that we're bringing out, a lot of research and development. When we get to see the finished article, way before anybody at home gets to see it, it arrives and we get to unpack it and experience it and try it, that gives us all a massive buzz. I can't be getting out of bed too early, and I like to get to bed. 9 o'clock's the new 10 p.m. Tea all day long, black, no sugar, thank you. I tend to miss breakfast, which isn't great. And if I have something when I come in the office, then that's going to be yogurt and fruit. My face, all of the makeup that makes this. Nobody's seeing this without that on. Probably a baked potato or a salad or something egg-based. Ooh, craft along a masterclass. I'm going to say masterclass, and that's because I love to educate. One song that would be the theme tune to my life, it would be Billy Ocean, Red Light Spells Danger. Pour a gin and tonic. First thing I do. Get in the house, gin and tonic, decompress the day, and then plan what I'm going to do that night.
Welcome back, everybody. Loads of you checking out there, so thank you so much. Hi to Carolyn Wilson, who's joined us from Florida. Thank you also to Julie, who says, my dad worked with someone called Jack Russell.
Brilliant. What a name.
And Carolyn Wilson, this is brilliant. I knew a girl, surname Leah,
Yes.
first name Shanda.
Oh my goodness, that is brilliant.
That's showbiz, that, isn't it? Chandelier.
Oh, I think I need to change my name.
Yeah,
Chandelier.
That would be
That'd
brilliant.
be quite
wouldn't it?
nice.
Yeah.
Every room in my house, apart from the bathroom, does have a chandelier.
Really?
It does, yes. I was absolutely dead set on when I moved into my new house, every room I'd have a chandelier.
Why do you not have one in your bathroom?
Because the light fitting was already, it's like a different sort of light fitting. The light was already on, whereas every other room, it was just a bare bulb, which needed a light fitting. The bathroom, I can't,
That
which
is
was very sad.
showbiz.
But the kitchen does. Kitchen has a chandelier. Has
Show-
two, actually.
That's two chandeliers.
Two chandeliers, yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever
So-
feel that you want to swing from your chandelier?
Well,
or
if
not?
I was called Chandelier, I might.
I reckon you should.
Might be changing my name.
I reckon.
I need a new name strap.
Yeah. Get yourself down the where do you go? Depot office. isn't it?
Depot, yeah.
It's only
change
about
my name
20
by
quid.
Depot. Yeah, it can't be that. Yeah, I might do that. Next time I'm on Crafters TV, if you see a different name on the bottom, you know why.
Yeah.
I've changed it to Chandelier.
Either that or just do it on Facebook, because you can change your name for like 60 days, can't you, on Facebook? And then, yeah, so
Ooh,
Chandelier,
Chandelier.
on Crafters TV.
There's been a few years since that.
Yeah. Where's that
Blast
come
the
from?
past there.
Been about 8 years since I've done that.
Oh dear.
Right. Our last name, says Lisa P, is Parkerson. We were going to name our son Peter, which would have been too close to Spider-Man's name, Peter Parker, but we chickened out. I think you should. I think you should go for it. Just change it. Too many people going to the Depol office after today going, I'm going to change my name.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing between shows off to the Depol office. If anyone knows a local one, let us know. We'll be down there.
I bet probably you could do it online now.
Yes,
if you popped in your birth certificate details or whatever it might be. Carol says, got a notice. I may get my latest CC order either today or tomorrow.
Woohoo!
And Lynn says, love the paper pad, even though I don't do autumn cards. It's a beauty. This is going straight in my basket. And there's 2 more and then we'll move on. So Suzanne says, I know a young lady, surname Davidson, first name Harley.
Oh, that's great.
And Little Bear, this might be my favourite one so far. So Little Bear's partner had a teacher, surname Via,
yes,
first name Percy.
That's a great name for a teacher,
Percy
isn't it?
Via.
Great name, yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's good, that.
Please keep these coming in.
Please do, it's making our day.
Especially people with names that like fit their occupation or fit what they do. That's even better. I'm trying to think like what would be a good...
You need to be Matt and Leia.
Yeah, Matt.
You do. Matt and Leia.
Matt and Leia.
Yeah.
We'll try and think of some more. Try and think of some more like crafty ones as well.
One could be, I remember someone else on another channel, a channel that you might have just mentioned, mentioning this.
Don't know where that came from.
Neither do I. And I think this was actually a real person, Di Storer. Di Storer. I think it was a real person that they were talking about, yeah. Di Storer. What a name! What a name!
Di Storer.
Di Storer. If you're watching Di, let us know. Drop us a comment. Hello, Di Storer.
Maybe there's someone watching called Gemma Nye.
It's possible. Gemini, yeah.
Gemma Nye.
Yeah? Yeah. All these names.
Yeah.
Isn't it brilliant?
Anyway, keep
Moving
them
on.
coming. Let's get on to another demo. Which one are you going to show us next?
It wasn't going to be long before I turned to the butterfly, let's be honest. You know I love my florals, I love my butterflies, and this is an absolute beauty. Once again, 4x6" embossing folders. And I always like to show you guys at home the packaging, because I love the fact that on our packagings, we actually include a little sample, a little bit of inspiration that you can directly copy if you want, or just use it as a little bit of a starting point for your next project. And I was totally inspired by the colouring on there. I think the colouring is absolutely exquisite. But we're going to move on to actually embossing this beautiful design. So you can see how gorgeously this runs through your die cutting machine. So we've got a piece of our white cardstock. You are, of course, getting that bundle of your multi-purpose card as part of your fantastic showstopper deal. Once again, cutting that cardstock down to about 1/4 inch smaller. So it's just under 4 inches by 6 inches. Now, once again, if you have just tuned in, we had that sort of a little bit of a revelation moment for quite a few of you guys at home. And it was for me when I first found out this little trick. I have to say, I was like, oh, I think we had to pick my jaw up off the floor about 5 minutes after. I couldn't believe how much easier it is when you've got this little sort of memory aid when it comes to your embossing folder plate. So, 3D embossing folder, that means we need 3 plates. So we start off with our cutting plate, and then we go in with our magnetic shim. Then the third plate of our 3-plate sandwich is our plastic frosted shim, and we run that through our die cutting machine.
And just remind us as well, if we're middying, what do we need to make this work in our MIDI?
MIDI, these are 3D embossing folders, so I believe, do you just put them straight through?
Yeah.
See, he's the king of the MIDI. I'm more of a Gemini 2 girl, but straight through. No plates, no platforms needed, straight through your MIDI. And these will fit through your Gemini Junior as well. So you can see there we've got that absolutely gorgeous embossed design. It's going to come to the fore when we start to add the colours. So it's going to really start to bring out all of that stunning detail.
Look at that.
That's the embossed, but how about using the deboss? Isn't that equally as stunning? Absolutely love that. That butterfly is beautiful. But we're going to do a little bit of colouring with this particular image. So let's start off by colouring. Let's do a couple of the leaves. So starting off with our dull green blend.
Question.
Oh yeah, go on.
When might you personally use a deboss as opposed to an emboss?
Oh, that's an interesting question, that one.
Thank you.
Wherever the mood takes you.
Whenever the mood takes you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you fancy using the deboss, go for it. If you fancy using the emboss, go for it. Simple as that. I have to say, when it comes to colouring, if you are colouring, it's a little bit more difficult. I've got another one here. Let's do a little bit of colouring on the reverse. It's a little bit more difficult to colour into the deboss, but let's give it a whirl. Why on earth not? So we've got that same leaf there, onto the deboss. Let's go in with our Tri-Blend brush pen, which is our dull green blend. I have to say, I hate the name of that. I think it really
Dull.
undersells. It's a right
You're
dull colour.
so dull.
The thing is, it's not even a dull colour. It's quite a nice, vibrant colour. It's like my go-to green when it comes to all of my foliage, I have to say. So just calling in the deboss. It is a little bit harder to stay within those deboss lines, but you can absolutely still do it. If you want to add your ink, let's go a little bit off piste here, but why on earth not? When the questions come in, we'll show you different techniques if that's what you want to see. But when you add your ink over the top of a deboss as opposed to an emboss, you get the ink on the background and you get your beautiful sort of images are left white.
A bit more like a letterpressy sort of effect,
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely is. Whereas if we went on the other side with the emboss, we inked on the emboss, we get the design with the colour as opposed to the background. So it's nice to have a 2-for-1 when it comes to all of your embossing folders. But let's go back to the technique that we were just starting with our gorgeous emboss design. So flip it back over to the emboss. I'm going to start off with that leaf. So as always, when it comes to my alcohol pen colouring, I choose to lay down that lightest colour first, and then I work up the colour tones. So I go in with my mid-tone next, and then finally I bring in that darkest of the 3 shades to really start adding that shade and those shadows to bring that leaf to life. And it literally is as simple as that. I'll just do another of the little leaves down here. So just going in, and by having that really fine point to that brush nib, it just makes it super easy to get into all of those nooks and crannies when it comes to this gorgeous, intricate design here. So going in with our mid-tone. Then if you find that it's a little bit too much of a sort of stark contrast between those 2 shades, just go back to your lighter colour tone, blend that back out, and then work back up the colour tones until you've built up that dimension and built up that depth. So that's the same technique that you'd use for all of those leaves onto that design. Then when it comes to one of the florals, I'll bring in my dusty purple blend. Once again, starting off with that lightest. And the beauty of using your brush nibs is that it allows you to get that flicking motion really, really quite easily. Just from the inwards, flicking outwards to start to lay down that colour. Don't feel like you need to cover all of the edges. You don't need to go right up to the edge of those petals, leaving a little bit wide. Adds that extra highlight onto there.
Yeah.
That starts to build that dimension. And then go back in to your mid-tone and then build up to your dark tone.
Hello, Monica in Cluj-Napoca. I will as well, for those asking, after this demo, I'll run through everything again, but just to, whilst we're watching Lily, you basically, if you go for the showstopper, you get everything, all the new folders. You also get 60 sheets of your multi-purpose card, which you pay for, and then you get your blending brushes, the 5 blending brushes for free, but I'll show you shortly. Carolyn says, I once knew a surname, Bud, first name Rose.
Oh,
She married into that name, apparently.
Oh, it's chosen then, was it?
Rosebud.
Interesting. What a name.
Lynn Harvey. My brother had a friend whose surname was Christmas and his wife was Mary. Come on,
good.
that's brilliant.
Merry Christmas. I do like that one. That's brilliant.
Imagine having the surname Christmas as well. That's just
What a surname.
showbiz, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Christmas.
Oh, I quite like that.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it? What a
does.
strong name, Ben Christmas.
Benjamin Christmas.
Benjamin
Sounds
Christmas.
even better.
Yeah, there's something very sort of storybook, very Dickensian
Yes.
about that. Benjamin Christmas.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
The Adventures of Benjamin Christmas.
Yeah, get ready for launch party tonight with Benjamin Christmas and Chandelier.
Chandelier.
Oh wow, don't get much more showbiz than that, does it? Oh dear. Anyway, Jamie in Aria says we can dream. Well, quite frankly, if you what is it? If you can dream it, you can do it.
If you can dream it, you can do it. Yeah.
There you go. Absolutely. Anyway, let's fast forward a little bit into our finished piece here.
Wowee.
Does it come to life? And what we've done in the centre of those flowers is we've actually taken one of those metallic paint markers that is included as part of your bonus buy, and we've just highlighted that detail, just add a little bit of a sort of metallic lustre, a little bit of shine, a little bit of an expensive looking quality, if you like, into the centre of those flowers, just to really set that off nicely. But what we have done is we'll just leave that to one side for a moment, and we'll bring in this extra piece. So all I've done is I've taken a little scrap of cardstock, exactly the same cardstock that I actually used to emboss my main panel, and we've just embossed that butterfly. Then at that point you're going to colour in that butterfly, so do a little bit of imagining at this point, imagining that butterfly is coloured. And then all you're going to do, a little bit like what Ben was talking about layering and decoupaging our designs up a little bit earlier. You're just going to go and you're just going to cut off that left-hand wing. So you're just taking your scissors, just easing them around the edge of that embossed design.
Nicola's just saying in our ear, I mean, it would be Bud, wouldn't it? Bud our fly. Butter.
Butter.
You want someone called Butter. You want
Butter.
someone's first name Butter, second name Fly.
I'm not sure about the name Butter.
No, I'm not sure.
Any Butters out there watching, let us know.
I mean, there might be somebody out there called Cat a Pillar.
There might be. There very well might. Wow, all these names. All these names, eh? Wow.
Dear. Anyway,
back to the butterfly. Let's just start to layer this together. So by cutting out that wing, that allows us to actually layer that back over the top. I'm going to pop that over a frame as well, so it sort of protrudes over there a little bit, just to give us that extra bit of dimension. I think I'll go in with my foam tape just to cover the back of this. So dimension onto the back of our butterfly. It could be your 3D glue gel that you're using to do this, but here we're just going to go in with our foam tape. I have to say I absolutely love my foam pads and foam tape. It makes such a difference onto your makes to have that extra little bit of dimension. So let's just layer that onto that left-hand side. You could do it with the full butterfly, so you could cut out that full butterfly and layer that over the top. But here we're just going to layer up that one wing to give that effect of dimension onto there. I mean, as if it wasn't dimensional enough already with all that 3D embossing. Let's just make even more of a feature of that. And then we're just going to start to layer our card together. So we've got a few mats and layers. The papers here are from Sarah's Signature Once Upon a Time. So I dug that old 12 by 12 paper pad out. I've got some of my luxury gold mirror cardstock, and then we've got some of the linen cardstock from our Sarah Signature Once Upon a Time. And that's just going to pop onto our card base, created using some of our multi-purpose card. And our card base is about 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 inches. That's just going to pop into the centre. And then we'll take our emboss panel and we're going to once again glue this down. And have you noticed I've managed to unblock that bottle?
Hey.
Only one of them, not both, so don't get
was it
too
with
pleased.
a pin or what?
This one, it was all sort of crusted around the edge there, so I couldn't actually screw it off. It was a little bit grim, I have to say. So I got the old pokey tool out and gouged all of that gunky stuff off, so we can now screw the lid off. I'm making this sound very glamorous, aren't I?
Gouge the gunky stuff.
Gouge the gunky stuff, yeah. All the lovely words today. And then just to finish that off, it looks a little bit unfinished at the edges there where we've got the edges of our embossed design. I'm going to pop our frame over the top and then that wing can just lift over the frame there. So let's take the foam pads off the back of our frame. And to create this, I've used some of that linen cardstock once again from the Sarah Signature Once Upon a Time, and then some more of that gold. It's the A4 pack where you get your silver and your gold in your mirror cardstock, which is super useful to have in your crafty stash. So let's just line that up, making sure it's nice and level top and bottom, and left and right as well. Then we can just lift the wing over the top there. And of course, with these being partial 3D embossing folders, we've got that space there, which is going to be perfect to add our greeting, our sentiment, whatever it might be. Let's go in with our Believe, and that's actually as part of our Spring Fairy collection, I do believe, this one, called Dreamy Sentiments.
Oh, it's one of the trends, isn't it?
It certainly was. I think it was the one before Juniper Frost, but I could be wrong. But that sentiment, it's been die cut, drop shadowed with a little bit of gold underneath, and doesn't that look gorgeous? But just bringing in something a little bit different. I've just taken that exact same card, but all I've gone ahead and done with this one is I've added a little bit of our clear sparkle pen over that butterfly there to really jazz that up, to bring it to life. So going in with a couple of different mediums there, your alcohol pens with your clear sparkle pen really does bling that up a little bit and make it a real focal point on that card, but super easy to put together.
Lots of lovely inspiration to take with you when you pick up this collection. If you haven't already, we are down, I think, just under 100 of the showstoppers remaining. The butterfly embossing folder is lovely, says Lynn Harvey. If you're going individually, I'll show you them all. But if you're going individually, let me know which ones you're going for. Which are your favourites within the collection? I suppose it depends on what sort of cards you're working on currently, doesn't it, really? Christine Mahoney says, I am purchasing. That's how you said it, Ben. Yes, I know. The showstopper and some paper pads. Nice. And Lois says, I really like these 3D embossing folders. There's room left for your sentiment. It's very clever. Yes, that's the kind of the whole sort of point with this, which I really like. And, you know, particularly good, as I say, if you are just starting off, because you're quickly creating a card with this. So 4x6 in size, the embossing folders. You can add a little bit of ink in its simplest form. And choose a few different colours if you like, and then you can just pop in a little sentiment, which just makes a really quick, easy but stunning card. All the designs you're going to get in here are these. So you've got a festive bauble, covering your sort of Christmas and festive makes. This one here is called your birthday cupcake. So you can see you've got streamers, you've got the little cupcakes in there, you've got balloons, all sorts going off. So, you know, great for any sort of celebratory cards or anniversaries as well. That would work really nicely. Swirling florals, again, I think this could be for a whole host of different occasions, really. Could be for a birthday, could be for an anniversary. You know, could be even a sympathy card with the florals on, but very useful. Your florals you're going to be able to use for all sorts of different occasions. The celebrate with champagne, so you've got your champagne bottle there, just being uncorked, and again lots of balloons. So for all celebrations, if you want to just recreate the card that Lily's just made, then that is the embossing folder there that you'll be needing. It is called the Beautiful Butterfly, and again, if you're getting this home as a newbie, you might just be going, okay, well, I'll add a bit of ink, bit of matting and layering, and then adding a sentiment in here. But then you can, as your sort of crafting skills develop, go ahead and do the kind of things that we've just seen with Lily. You know, and be cutting into these, creating little toppers. There's your holly and candles. Again, you've got beautiful embossed detailing there with those stunning candles, and then all of your sort of Christmas foliage. Sparkling snowflakes. Once again, if you want some inspiration with this, if you've just joined us, go back to the start of the show and you'll be able to see Lily's make with that one. And then lastly in the bundle is your Christmassy bells, which again, you could use that, I think, maybe for like a wedding card. Certainly ways to adapt that to use that in more occasions than just at Christmas time. So that's the new bundle of your embossing folders. It's £17.91 that you save, £18.59, £50.39 or £69.59 if you go for the showstopper, which gives you your 60 sheets of multi-purpose cardstock. So effectively you're paying for those in the embossing folder within the deal, and then, as it's the showstopper, we give you the just back in stock as of last week blending brushes. 5 of those you get, each individually cased, for absolutely nothing within the deal. It's an incredible buy, and as I say, I think a little bit silly on our behalf really, in the fact they've only just got it back in stock and we're now giving them away for free within bundles. If you do want to buy those individually, again, you can get those too. And all of the embossing folders you can pick and choose. If you have picked and chosen, let me know which ones and why. If you do go for the showstopper though, more often than not we give you a bonus buy, and the bonus buy this time is your metallic paint markers. You're getting 18 pens in total because there are 3 pens within each set. I've only got 2 of the actual physical pens here, but you will get all of them that I'm showing you on the boards as well. So within each of these sets, you get your 0.7mm super fine nib, your 3mm fine and your 4mm chisel nib in a whole host of different metallic colours. And again, these will pretty much lay down onto most things, whether you're laying them down onto your plastic, onto your glass, onto your ceramics. As you can see there, they lay down onto pretty much everything: card, paper, glass, stone, ceramic, plastic, wood, metal, and more. Sorry. You're going to get Quicksilver. You're also going to get your set of molten copper, and then these are the other colours that you're getting. I don't have the physical pens in the studio, but you've got beautiful blush. You're going to get champagne. Got loads of champagne on the show today, haven't we? In celebratory mood, as it's Tuesday. Yeah, but actually, yeah, no actual champagne. Probably a good thing. Autumn bronze, the shimmer and shine that you get, and then your beautiful rose gold as well. So 3 pens within each set, 6 pens gives you an 18-piece collection. £40 or $50 if you want to buy those individually, you can. However, if you get them with your showstopper, that brings that price down by half. So you're £20 or $25, which is £16 or $20, isn't it? If you're platinum. Shimmer sprays. Details on your screen here, 10-piece complete collection. £19.90 or $24.50 is what you're going to be paying for these. £32 or $44 is your platinum price. And can we just appreciate, as I give that a little wiggle, the shine and the shimmer that you are going to get with each of these. Comes in your spray tub, your spray bottle. You can spray that, lay that down. I think I've seen our guys before as well, actually, just dispense some of this onto the side and paint with it if you want. If you also decide that you want like a different sort of level of dispersal. Yeah, what? Dispersal. Dispersion or dispersal? I can't say it now. Dispersal. What is it? Dispersal. Dispersion. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If you want a different level of spray, spritz, then you can decant them into your misters as well. Oh dear, oh dear. But the colours that you're going to be getting, and again, I think all of these you can get individually, but top left as you look, my top right, golden sunflower. I love that beautiful firelight. Look at that. If I just give that a real proper wiggle back, you can see all of the shimmer, jam-packed with that shimmer. You've got the celestial map in there. You've also got your beautiful sunset bronze. Down to the middle row, that is the golden heather. This one here is your summer meadow. Next one along was Leanne's favourite when we launched these, the royal velvet. You've then got the deep seashell. And then down the bottom, you've got your gold duet and that ice silver. So all of those included within that bundle for just £32 or $44. And also, got me stretching today, I tell you what. Did an 8-mile run yesterday. I don't need any, actually I do need some stretching. Oh, my hamstrings. Also, the duet ink pads. This is a 10-piece collection, £32 or $48. I'll take you through the colours of these. Which did you say of the blenders that you use when you use your duet ink pads? The
blending brushes, the ones that you get in the showstopper.
Right.
So they're ideal to use with the duet ink pads. I just find because the way that sort of duet ink pads are formulated, it works a lot better to use a brush rather than, as I call it, a sponge on a stick. You get a much even coverage and a much bolder coverage of colour, and you're much less likely to get those sort of smear marks. They did actually launch the duet ink pads with those blending brushes.
And do you have one blending brush per colour, or do you not feel the need to do that?
So I'll have one for all of the oranges, one for all of the reds. I won't have one for each and every single shade, but every sort of different colour I'll have a different brush for.
Yeah, and these are brilliant, aren't they? For people who've just seen them, like a hybrid ink pad, and the fact that you can do sort of all your water techniques, you can layer with these. For people who are wanting like one ink pad that does a lot, these are probably the ones to go for, yeah?
Absolutely. I remember when Leanne launched these, she actually said for her now they're one of her most favourite of all the ink pads, and that is saying a lot, let's be honest.
Yeah.
These do an awful lot of different techniques. So you can stamp with them. You can, even if you're quick, you can even add some clear embossing powder over the top when you've stamped with them.
Oh, nice.
You could do all your blending techniques. You can do, as we do our faux bleaching with our water reactives, with this it gives you a little bit more of an oxidised effect, more of a chalky sort of droplet effect, but you can still absolutely spritz onto them. You can paint with them as well. You can do all of your blending techniques. There's tons and tons you can do with these, and I love the fact as well that teardrop shaped pad, super ergonomic to hold, but it also means that wider sort of edge allows you to actually get into all of those wider, larger applications of colour. Then you've got that fine point on the other end, so if you want to get into those more detailed areas, then absolutely you can be doing that with one ink pad, which I think is absolutely fabulous.
Good morning, Laurie Barnett from Gilbert, Arizona. And Rose, maybe we can show this in the second half. Rose is just saying, could Lily show how to ink one side of the embossing folder, please?
Do a deboss? Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that in the second hour for you.
Yeah, I'll cut some cards to cap and we'll do it. No problem.
Any other requests or questions, feel free to fire those in, because that is what we are here for. And Amanda, who says, Ben, I've just ordered all the folders. Yes. Plus the harvest paper. Yes. Yay. Yes. Yay! Totally sold by watching the show and watching Lily make her cards. That's the harvest paper. We're not really supposed to officially launch that now, but we thought, you know what? We're renegades. We are crafting renegades, and it was, who was it who said you got up at 4 o'clock in the morning? It was Robin, good memory. Robin was up at 4, so we thought, you know what? Seeing as you guys have made the effort to get up at 4, we'll make the effort to launch something now, a soft launch. It launches officially tonight on Launch Party, but you can grab it right now. It's the Harvest Time Plaid. Quick flick through, because we are almost at the top of the hour, but you'll see this in more detail a little bit later on in Launch Party, alongside lots and lots of launches from the last few weeks that you may well have missed. All that coming up tonight here on Crafters TV, live at 5. Welcome if you just joined us. Thank you so much for getting up to be with us here on this Tuesday. Hopefully you've had a great bank holiday weekend. If you have been with us here in the UK, hopefully you got the full 3 days off. But thanks for being here. Busy day, lots still coming up for you. Launch party tonight, as I've just said, at 5. You've got an hour with me and Lily, and then the final hour just with me. Woohoo! Hey, whoa, that's going to be, isn't it? Hey, what? Anything could happen. You'll tune in, won't you? What's he going to get up to on his own? Oh, goodness even knows. And right now, we have got the second hour of the launch of these fantastic 3D partial embossing folders, which you guys have absolutely loved. There's a showstopper option for you. Less than 100 of the showstoppers remaining if you want to go for that. I won't go through all again in detail now because I did it at the end of the last hour, but basically you get all of the brand new partial 3D embossing folders. You get your multi-purpose cardstock in there too, and then for free we give you your blending brushes. 5 of those you're going to get for absolutely nothing. Platinum price is £50.39 or $69.59, and you've got your bonus buy bundle of those metallic paint markers that I just showed you as well. Everything available individually too. You can buy the embossing folders on their own, you can buy them separately, you can buy the blending brushes separately, you can buy the metallic paint markers separately. Shop the Show is the best option. Hi to Colleen, who says, I'm loving that harvest pad. That's already flying. And Colleen Passari says, good morning, Ben and Lily. A late morning for me, and just having my first cup of coffee here in Florida. So second half of the show, more demos. We're going to show Rose how to ink one-sided embossing folder. And we've also got another question coming in from Julie, which we can do now or we can do later.
Do you know what I want to ask? Was it Rose who asked about the ink in the embossing folder?
Yes.
Rose, I want you to tell me what embossing folder you want me to use.
Oh.
It's down to you, your choice. Because I was looking at them all, I want to use them all. So you tell me which one you want to see inked up, and we'll do that in just a few moments for you.
Look at that, super interactive
Yeah, we'll
today.
get the next question in, come on.
It says, I bought, this is from Julie, I bought the Christmas Rose and Jingle All the Way collection. I've heard this before. Okay. When I emboss, sometimes my paper creases.
Oh.
I think I have tried every combination of plates. I have a Gemini 2 and I don't know what to do.
Okay, good question. We've all been there. For me, one of the main things, when I first started embossing, I would always cut my cardstock to larger than I need, so larger than the embossing folder. Then I'd run it through, then I'd actually trim it down afterwards. But the best tip I can give to you when it comes to cutting down your cardstock, ready for it to go through that embossing machine, cut your cardstock to ever so slightly smaller than your embossing folder. What will happen is, especially with a 3D embossing folder, if your cardstock is actually larger than the embossing folder itself. As it goes through, especially the Gemini 2 with that incredibly high pressure, what will happen is all that cardstock around the edge will start to wrinkle, it'll start to buckle, and those wrinkles can sort of encroach a little bit onto that embossed design itself. So first top tip is always cut your cardstock a little bit smaller than the embossed design. Yeah. With all of our embossing folders, they're not true to edge. That's the same with pretty much all embossing folders on the market. It doesn't go right to the edge of that plastic there. So that means if your cardstock is a little bit smaller than the embossing folder size itself, you're still going to get that beautiful edge-to-edge embossed design, but it just means you're not going to get the wrinkle of cardstock around the edge. Just remember, when it comes to embossing folders, you've got your 2D, you've got your 3D, super simple when it comes to that plate combination. 2D embossing folders means you need 2 plates. It's 2 of your, as I still call them, clear, that are quite clearly not clear, embossing plates or cutting plates on either side. But when it comes to 3D embossing folders, like these beauties are, these are going to require 3 different plates. That's going to be your cutting plate, it's going to be your plastic shim, and it's going to be your magnetic shim as well. Hopefully that helps. That shouldn't be too much pressure. Now I'm going to be a little bit controversial. When it comes to the way that you actually put these through your embossing folder and you pop them through your machine, never ever pop it so that the opening hits the rollers first. What can happen is it can sort of jump a little bit, and that embossed design can move a little bit as it moves out of that machine. A lot of people will tell you, pop the hinge up against the rollers. I find personally I get slightly better results if I have the hinge at the side. So always hinge at the top or hinge at the side, never hinge at the base. That's another top tip. But if you go with your right plate combination, if you go with your right sort of cardstock size, then hopefully that should help. Let us know how you get on though, and I really do hope that helps.
Thank you. And Rose says,
okay,
please can you do the rose for a rose?
Of course. Oh, of course. It makes total sense. Do we want to do that now?
Yeah, why not?
Shall we do it? Right, let's grab the rose. The rose is an absolute beauty, I have to say. So, this is a fresh one as well. So, very honoured to be opening a new packet. But here we go. Tracy's having a dinner, so I'm all right. She won't come barging into the studio. So this is our swirling florals, and this is an absolutely amazing technique that you can do with any embossing folder. You can do it with both your 2D and your 3D. But all you need to do is take any sort of cardstock. White cardstock is obviously going to show our ink colour a little bit better. And you're just going to open up your folder. Now let's choose an ink pad. I'm going to go for one of our duet ink pads. So I think, have we got raspberry ripple in the bundle?
Oh, now you're asking. We don't think we do.
Rosy apple?
Rosy apple we do.
Woohoo, let's go for rosy apple.
Oh,
then.
we do have raspberry ripple.
Oh, never mind, too late. We've got this one.
Oh, I want to see raspberry. No, not really.
Oh dear, he's an absolute diva, isn't he? Absolute diva. So we've got a piece of our white cardstock cut, as always, to slightly smaller than the folder. That's 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. We're taking our ink pad. Now this could be any sort of blending ink. You just don't want something like a StazOn, something that's going to dry in that folder. Is not what you want for this technique. So go for one of your blending water-based inks, like your duets, and you just need to give your little folder a little bit of a stroke.
Ah.
Oh, lovely.
Bless you, little folder.
Oh, so clean. It's going to be mucky in a minute, but it will clean off. So you want to give it a feel. You want to feel that embossed design. So here I can feel that design protruding out. What we want is we want to ink up the other side, the side where the design is actually going into the folder. So let's take our ink pad. Now you can be using one of your blending tools, one of your applicators, your blending sponges to apply this, but I find it so much easier to actually go in directly to the folder from that ink pad, and we're just going to blend that colour over the top. Nice and easy to go around in those circular motions.
Is that just a light touch, or are you pressing down
I'm
there?
not sort of grinding it into there. I'm just not super gentle, but you don't want to exert a lot of pressure, because obviously you don't want your ink going into the recesses of your folder. So just going all over that embossed sort of design in your folder there, and that's going to lay down that ink so it can actually go in with our cardstock and give us that lovely debossed design. So it's up to you how much ink you want to have to that area there. Obviously, with it being a partial 3D embossing folder, that means that not all of that folder is designed as such. We've got that blank space, which is perfect to add your sentiment onto. Then you're going to take your piece of cardstock, pop it in your opposite side of the folder until you're happy with the way that that's lined up. We're going to close that, and then we're going to pop that onto our plate. And with it being a 3D embossing folder, it's the same plate combination. It's 3 of our plates here. It's our base plate, it's our magnetic shim, and it's our plastic shim on top. And we're just going to run that through our die cutting machine, just like so. So let's just allow that to move through the machine. And then we'll just take this out the folder. This is sort of the big reveal. And we're just going to remove our design from the folder.
Ooh.
And you can see at the bottom there, you've got all of that detail. It's embossed, that design, but you've got all of the ink into the recesses there. If you want that to be a little bit neater at the top there, just apply a little bit more ink all over that piece. But it shows how beautifully that ink is going to sit into all of those recesses there. And it really does help to bring out that detail.
Yeah.
Always reminds me a little bit of this technique. I don't think anyone else will relate to this, but in my mind, reminds me a little bit of when you look at cells down a microscope, and I'm not quite sure why.
Cells in a microscope?
Cells down a microscope. I think it's the fact that you've got like the colour in the background and then the feature is in
Yeah,
white.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of. I'm not sure
bit.
you do, but thank you for humouring me.
Welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. But any colour, any sort of ink pad, you can go on with that. And then because this is a water-based ink, you can of course just run it under a tap, but I'm just going to go in with my little wiper here and just wipe all of that colour off. And then once we're happy that we've got enough of that colour off, we'll just go in with a dry piece of the very posh toilet roll. And then we'll just dry this off, and then that'll be good to go for our next technique. We don't need to worry about gunking up the cardstock on our next project.
Marvellous.
Easy.
Thank you for everybody for all the comments and the requests. And as I say, that's why I think, you know, we're so good at what we do, because we're interactive, we're live, we're happy to take your questions, we're happy to try things out and show you things as well. So thank you. Hi to Kim Creekmore, who's joined us, saying good morning from Alabama in the US of A. And Colleen, who says, thank you, Lily, for the tip on the paper creasing. Mine sometimes does that also, but I will do what you suggest. The questions are flying in now. See, this is what I love.
Keep them coming. This is what I love. This is why I love being live and interactive. It's about you guys at home asking those questions. We'll try and accommodate as best as we can, so keep them coming.
So there are two sort of quickie ones, I suppose. Amanda's saying, what is the difference between 2D and 3D embossing folders?
That is a brilliant question. I remember many years ago now when 3D embossing folders first came out, and I saw the name and I thought, 3D embossing folders, Surely all embossing folders are 3D, and I suppose to an extent they are. But when it comes to 2D embossing folders, the simplest way I can explain it to you is you've either got cardstock that's not embossed, or the next layer up that is embossed.
Yeah.
You've got no sort of sculpture to it. Whereas when it comes to your 3D embossing folders, first off, you'll see that they're a little bit thicker than your 2D embossing folders, and that's why we have to have a different plate combination for 3D versus 2D. But as you actually, I'm going to stroke the embossing folder once again, when you open up your embossing folder, just by running your hands over it, it's not a case of it's either flat or it's raised. You've got levels, you've got sculpture to this. I always think of it a little bit like you've carved it out of marble, that sort of idea. It's very much sculpted, so you can see that bow, it's not just sort of a flat. Obviously, it's not flat because it's raised, but not sort of a one level raised dimension onto that. It's rounded, it's curved. So that's going to give you what we talk about. We talk about a background, we talk about a midground, and we talk about a foreground. So there's different levels to that embossing. It's not just a case of it's either embossed or it's not. You've got different levels to that embossing. What an amazing camera shot there. Look at that. You can see all of that level. So it's not just about it being deeper, it's about having that sculpture, that roundness, that more realistic effect to your embossing. But it just means these folders are a little bit thicker, hence the 3 plates versus 2 plate combo for your plate sandwich. Hope that helps.
Is the magnetic shim the one with all the grids on it, says Lynn?
Certainly is, yeah. That's the one.
Sue, would it be a smoother application of ink if you used a brayer on the folder?
Yes, it would. Top tip. If I had a brayer here, there might be one. There might be one somewhere, but if I had a brayer to hand, if you go in with your brayer onto your ink pad, then brayer over your folder, it's going to give you a much smoother application of ink. Just depends on the look you're going for. If you want something that's a little bit more rustic, a little bit more patchy, I suppose, with a bit more texture, then by all means go directly from your ink pad to your folder. If you want it a little bit smoother, go in with one of your brayers, and that will give you a much smoother effect. Great top tip.
One final one for now, again from Rose, who says, thank you, Lily, for the Rose demo. You don't have to spritz with water on the folder before running it through. Some people chat about spritzing your card before you emboss, don't they?
Yeah, this is one of those controversial crafty conundrums, we shall call it. So when it comes... I know, all the big words are coming out this afternoon. Blooming heck, I know.
Oh dear.
A controversial crafty conundrum. Anyway, so this is one of those things, when it comes to ink in the folder, definitely don't spritz it first, because all that's going to happen there is you're going to move that ink, and like we had with that technique there, you've got your raised area, which is white, and you've got your debossed area, which is your coloured area. If you spritz it, it's all going to mix and merge into one. Still going to look fabulous, but it's not going to be the same effect. However, I remember when 3D embossing folders first came onto the market, and people would say to you, because you've got to mould and sculpt that cardstock and you're asking a little bit more of the cardstock than a normal 2D embossing folder, a lot of people would say you'd have to spritz it into that folder first, then you put your cardstock in, then you run it through. I have to say, I find I never have to do this. High quality cardstock, it should not crack. But if you're struggling with a cardstock, maybe you've got a lesser quality white cardstock or black cardstock, and you find as it goes through that embossing folder, the actual design itself is cracking, give that cardstock a very light, and I mean very light spritz of water before it goes through that die cutting machine, and then that will allow it to sort of mould and bend to the curves, the pits and valleys of that embossing folder a little bit easier. But I have to say, I've never done it because I've never felt the need to. But if you find it's going to help you, then by all means, spritz that folder and you're good to go.
Right. Irene in Georgia, hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Great demos, Lily. Shall we do another card demo, or are we doing a box?
Yeah, should we do a box?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Come on.
Let's do it. Right. Christmas bells is what we're going to go with for this next card. I'm just thinking as well, if you've got the Jingle All the Way collection, that's going to work perfectly with some of those papers, isn't it? So definitely mix and match with other items you might have in your crafty stash. So we've taken out this gorgeous embossing folder, and once again, just by giving it a little crafty stroke, you can feel that you've got that beautiful depth and dimension to that embossing folder. I'm going to mix things up a little bit. We did the first couple of demos with white cardstock, but we're going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum this time round. We're going to go in with our black cardstock. So same plate combination that we've been using throughout the whole show so far. It's your 3 embossing, keep calling them embossing plates, your 3 cutting plates. You've got your base cutting plate, you've got your magnetic shim, which is the one with all the grid lines on. If I had a die here, which strangely enough, I don't have a die here, it would stick to that with it being magnetic. And then you've got your frosted shim onto the top there, and that's going to go through your Gemini 2. It's going to go through your Gemini Junior, it's going to go through your Gemini Midi as well. With it being a 3D embossing folder, you don't need any plates at all, literally straight through that machine, and you are good to go. We're just going to now remove this from our embossing folder, and you can see there just about, I think if I give that a little bit of a tilt, you can see that gorgeous embossed design. But once again, equally stunning on the reverse, the deboss. Now I did sort of give a little nod to this technique earlier on that we're going to have a little bit of a play with now. And that's going to be adding some of our beautiful gilding waxes onto this design. So we're going to bring in a couple of our gilding waxes here. We've got our silver, we've also got our king gold, and we've got our Renaissance gold as well. And we're just going to start off by adding some of this beautiful gilding wax onto our design. So we'll start off with this one here, which is our Renaissance gold. Remove that lid. And as usual, you'd see me sort of dabbing my finger into there, picking that up and using the gilding wax in this way.
Oh.
A little bit different this time.
Here we go.
I know.
CTV first.
I know, a little bit of a departure here. I have never, and I repeat, I've never used these tools with gilding wax on air before. I hasten to add, I've tried it at home. So
I was going to say.
Just on air, just showing you guys at home. But picking up your gilding wax onto your sponge. This is a fresh new sponge. I know how lucky am I. I've had fresh embossing folders, fresh sponges.
Only the best for you, Lily.
Clearly, yeah. I'm feeling very spoiled. And the posh toilet roll.
Yeah, exactly right. 2-ply, might even be 3-ply.
It might be.
Is there any advantage then is there a reason for doing this, or are you just showing that you can?
Absolutely. So the reason being is I'm loving this design, but I want to pick out the detail a little bit more. So rather than having one colour all over that piece, if I was to do that, I'd definitely be going in with my finger to do that sort of technique. But because I want to pick out the different details here, so I want to pick out the leaves in one colour, I want to pick out the bell in a different colour, the bow in a different colour. To get into all that detail with your finger can be quite tricky. So it's a lot easier if you use your little finger daubers. You can get into that super fine detail and pick out all those different compartments of colour with total and utter ease. So that's the first part done. We'll just speed it along a little bit. We have done that section there. We've done a few of the branches on that side there. But now we'll switch out to our king gold, I think. So another blending sponge, just because that's very much a bronzy gold and that's more of a yellowy gold. We want to make sure we're not cross-contaminating those sponges. So once again, let's go in with some of that colour.
It's just a good viable option as well, because I know a lot of people don't like to get the fingers dirty or don't like to apply things like this onto their bare fingers. So they're a good option whatever way, aren't they?
I have to say, I'm not a big fan of getting gilding wax down my nails. I love the effect of gilding wax, but these nails, it gets down these nails and it's not ideal, I have to say.
Yeah.
I do find it so much easier to use my finger, but for techniques like this, I have to say, when I was prepping this over the weekend, I was trying to get into all that detail with my finger and it just was not happening. So this is the best way that I could sort of get this technique to work exactly how I was envisioning. So let's go in with our king gold onto the bow and the bell even. As always, working lightly, building up that dimension, building up the layers of our gilding wax. Of course, you can go very lightly if you want, or you can go full on metallic lustre to this. It's completely up to you. However you sort of want this to look when it's finished. We'll just go on, as always, working in circular motions, whether it's gilding wax, whether it's ink. It gives you that smoothest lay down of colour with less chance of getting any sort of smears or blotches of colour by working in those circular motions. So that's that section done. Let's move on now to our bow. So going back to our lovely Renaissance gold, and we'll go in with our bow with that more of a bronzy tone, just to pick out the detail and have that sort of differential between your bell and your bow. Super easy to do this, so you don't have to be good at colouring, you don't have to be artistic or anything like that. It's just a nice, easy and fairly quick technique to really build up that sort of wow factor. I always think when you've got embossed designs onto black cardstock, you've got gilding wax, it just looks luxurious. So just pulling out all of that detail. And it's very easy, once you've got that small applicator, it's very easy to get into all of those lovely detailed areas without sort of overlapping onto the next one.
Yeah, and like you said, there'd be ways to sort of manipulate this to use it as, well, especially the bells, you could just cut out and use as like a topper for like a wedding card or something, couldn't you?
Yeah. Can you imagine those embossed white on white embossed with a little bit of perhaps glitter on there, maybe even a little bit of silver gilding wax on there? That'd be amazing for a wedding card, or even Christmas. Obviously, it is Christmas. What am I talking about?
Yeah, even Christmas.
Come on, Lily, what are you talking about? Oh dear, it's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
It has been a long
day.
Already? Good grief.
You've got a long few days, haven't you? Because you're off. When are you on Hobby Maker? Tomorrow?
No, I'm travelling down tomorrow and I'm on Thursday and Saturday.
Nice.
And then obviously with it being such a long way, when I say such a long way, we're talking about 5-6 hours on the old train, obviously staying down on Friday as well. So I'll get to see our Sheena as well. I think Sheena's down there on Friday, so...
Oh, nice. Sheena's there Friday,
I think she is, yeah. She's here tomorrow.
She is here tomorrow. Got a new launch.
Ooh, we're very excited about that one.
Yes.
Very, very exciting. I'm just hoping I'm going to have enough Wi-Fi on the train because I want to order it. I've not got it yet, and I do.
They do Wi-Fi on train. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Depends what train you're on. As I always call it, the big train, so the main train that takes me
The
from...
big train.
The big train.
Choo-choo!
I suppose, have you been on a Northern Service train? They are definitely, they could not be described as a big train.
Do you mean like branch line ones?
Like little ones that go from here to Darlington.
Oh yes,
sort of.
I've been on those.
Yeah.
The little rattlers.
Yeah.
There's like two, what do you call them? Carriages.
Yeah. So that for me is not a big train, but
No.
the train that goes from Darlington to Birmingham, that's a big train, and that has Wi-Fi.
Oh, good-o.
Yeah.
The ones that go as they fly through the stations.
Yeah. And I always convince I'm going to get trapped in the doors, but it's not happened yet. So if you don't hear from me later on tomorrow, I've got trapped in the doors and it's all come true.
Yeah.
So, but one of those irrational fears of mine of getting, like throwing yourself onto the train and getting trapped in the door. There you go. A little insight into my mind.
Surely they should just open up if you get trapped, shouldn't they?
Well, the ones that go between carriages, they can shut on people.
Oh,
I've seen
really?
it nearly happen. It's quite terrifying. Yeah, they must not have any sort of sensor.
Even worse than that, if you ever go on a train, is in the toilets that have like the automatic doors.
Oh, you don't want to know the story that happened to me in one of those.
Now you said it, I do want to know if it's TV friendly.
Yeah. So I thought that. So you know when you go into one of the electric doors, there's one button that shuts the door.
Yeah.
So obviously I shut the door.
Yeah.
I didn't realise there's another button that locked the door.
Ah. Ha.
Yeah.
So it opened, did it?
Yeah.
At an inopportune moment.
Yeah. But you know what the worst thing was? The person that opened the door, they waited outside for me to come back out the toilet, so I had to see them again.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So that's why I try not to use train toilets anymore.
At least if that was you, you'd go and sit down, wouldn't you? And then you sort of look over your shoulder and wait till you'd gone
The thing
back
is,
to
I
your
would have been
seat.
embarrassed if I was them, but anyway, very off topic. We'll go back to the girl before I tell any more of my terrible train stories.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Aren't they a fun place? Public transport, you've got to love it, eh? So just pick out this detail a little bit more. We'll go in with one of our metallic paint markers. You could actually be using the metallic markers that you get as part of the bonus buy as well.
Yes,
Lots
exactly.
of lovely metallic shades in there, but just to pick out those details a little bit more and bring this to life, we'll go in with a little bit of our gold here, just to pick out that detail even more and just finish this off beautifully. I still can't believe I've just told that story. Oh.
Hey,
It was a very, very long time ago, I have to say.
We are
thank
all
goodness.
friends here.
Yeah. It scarred me for life, I have to say. I must have been about 15 or 16 at the time, so you can imagine it was very, very embarrassing at that age. But yeah, I just remember coming back out and sitting back down next to me dad and saying, "You'll never guess what's happened." Like, what now?
Just give us the good old-fashioned toilets with a latch on. We don't need those.
You knew where you were. You knew
Exactly
if it was open,
right.
you know if it was closed. All these fancy doors. See, that's where technology is not what we need, is it? Anyway, how pretty is that?
Just on the subject of funny names as well. So I know this is the last hour. Cindy says, "I've been watching whilst in the kitchen making cinnamon rolls."
Ooh,
Love a cinnamon roll.
so do I.
Have to tell you of a fun family. Last name is Stay. So the mum is called Helen, and the daughter is called Chrissy May. Chrissy May Stay. Chrissy May Stay. Christmas Stay. Christmas Stay. Christmas
That's good.
Day.
Christmas Day.
That is so funny.
That's a good name. Yeah, we do like that one. Keep
And I
them
also
coming.
know a man, says Cindy, called Reed, surname Daly. Reed
It's
Daly.
good advice.
It is good advice.
Very good advice. It's like the other name, Persevere. More good advice there.
Persevere, I think, is my
Persevere.
favourite, particularly the fact that it was a teacher.
Yeah.
Mr. Veer, Persevere.
Can you imagine? 'Cause you know what it's like with kids at school when they're always desperate to know where the teacher's surname, first names even.
First
when
names,
they
yeah.
found out that it was Percy and they put two and two together. Persevere. Can you imagine how made up they were?
Do you remember, like when you were at school, you say you felt like, I don't know, you felt ever so grown up when you learned what your teacher's first name was?
Yeah. Well, when I was at junior school, my mum worked at the school. So obviously I knew my mum's name and everyone wanted to know what was my mum's name.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd never tell them, but they usually found out. But it was one of those great mysteries of being a child. What's Mrs. So-and-so's name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
Trinkle says, that is a beautiful technique. Love this card, Lily.
So easy though, isn't it? And
Yeah.
so fun. I have to say I had great fun popping this one together. We're just going to layer it into a box now. So I'm taking some of these gorgeous papers. These were from our, I think it was called Festive Sparkle. Last year we brought you
yes.
one was sort of Miriam Matte
Miriam
I
Matte and
think.
Matte and Mirror.
Yeah, and then this one's glitter and mirror,
yeah.
matte and glitter, I think.
Was it last year, this pad?
I think it was, you know.
Jeepers.
Feels like ages ago, doesn't it? Yeah, but I thought, oh, do you know what will go nicely with this? I thought, let's bring the bling.
Bring the bling.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got bling.
That bling.
It's very true. We've certainly got a lot of bling on this one. We are loving all the golds. But just simple black mats and layers to really frame this paper, and that's going to tie in, of course, with our topper quite nicely. So we'll just go around and just pop these onto our box lid. Created our box, both base and lid, from some of our multi-purpose card. With it being 300 GSM, it's going to be ideal for that. It's going to be nice and strong and sturdy. And it's not going to sort of buckle when you start to put all your goodies on the inside. Now we've got our topper there, so we'll take some of our foam tape. We'll just pop this on the reverse of our topper just to get that standing proud from our box itself.
Question from Lynn. She says, I've got very little feeling in the tips of my fingers.
Oh.
Can you tell me if the embossed side is the one with the Crafter's Companion logo written on it? I can never tell.
Do you know what? I always forget which way around it is. So, Lynn, so the side that's sort of, the side that's popping out is the side that's got Crafter's Companion.
Right.
So if you're wanting to emboss a piece of cardstock, you're going to pop that in so that your right side is that way, and that's going to push up through that side. So the side that's got Crafter's Companion in, that's the side that's sort of raised up.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps.
Excellent.
There always used to be a way around to remember it. We always used to talk about which side the branding was on, and I could never remember it. So I always just say, give your embossing folders a feel if you can.
Thanks for all the questions today as well, everyone. I feel like, as well as this being a launch show, I feel like it's been super interactive as well.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love it. Any more questions? You've got about half an hour. Get them in.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Any crafty conundrums, obviously, you know, more embossing conundrums, really, seeing as we're featuring 3D embossing folders. But if you're stuck on anything, whilst we're live, is a good time to ask.
Absolutely. And then we'll be live at 5, so any paper pad conundrums, even, what was it, crafty, controversial conundrum?
Controversial, crafty conundrums.
That was the one, Any of those, let us know.
Yeah. But if you're going to do those in the first hour, because Lily's here for the first hour. I'm on my own second hour, so don't ask any questions then. I mean, maybe ask a few. I'll see what...
You would know. I think you'd know.
I know more than I make on.
Yeah. I'm going to leave behind some of my demos as well, the ones we don't get done tonight. So
I'll do a few.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got all the the Halloween card base set and the creator card dies on, and well, I've got form with those. So you know, I might even do like a Moseby original. We've got an hour, which is long enough for me to do one demo.
Can't just do one demo and nothing else throughout the whole show.
Takes me a long time. You guys are quick. You're professionals over there. Us amateurs take a long time, especially when we have to talk as well.
Yeah, well. Right, so let's just start to build our box lid together. So we've got our sentiment on there. That was from the Juniper Frost sentiment collection. So it just nestles nicely into that space where we've got the area that's not particularly embossed with our partial 3D embossing folders. A little bit of tape onto our tabs there of our box lid. We do exactly the same with our box base, and then we build the two together. That will give us our finished box, which would look something a little bit like this. Same technique, ever so slightly different. It's always going to be a unique piece of art when you're using things like Gildan Waxes or your different inks as well. But very easy to create. When you've got those gorgeous embossing folders, just take some of those Gildan Waxes and just have a play. You're going to have so much fun creating something like this.
So nice, isn't it? Again, to see the embossed done onto your white cardstock and then on your black cardstock as well. So it allows you to bring into the game things like, as you've seen there, your Gildan Waxes, your metallic paint markers, all these different kind of things that you'll have in your craft room right now. You can bring them out to play to work perfectly with this set. Less than 100 of the showstoppers to go now, so if you want to grab yours, we'll give you opportunity to check out. And keep the comments coming. Rose says, stunning, Lily. I'd love to see it as a made-up card as I struggle when choosing matte and layers. Keep those comments coming through, and any last questions as well. We'll have just over, 25 minutes left when we come back. So more comments, any more questions, and we'll have one final demo with Lily. But right now, get checked out. We'll see you here in a moment.
When I'm working, it's quite busy because I have to get up really early to come into work if I'm going to be travelling from London. But otherwise, I'm quite lazy. I spend a lot of time in bed. Best part of my day is when we come in and I get to see everybody. I really enjoy being up here. It's really nice to see all my friends, and this is my happy place. I do like to see everyone, and also, of course, if Christina's in, I'm getting my breakfast from Christina before I start the day. Early riser without a doubt. Never a night owl. I'm in bed at 9:30. Bath at night, shower in the morning. I'm very clean. Tea, the colour of He-Man. Both. I like pancakes with bacon and maple syrup. Craft along, because there's always a softer side to craft along. My phone, my life is my phone. Yeah, the phone and the dog, unless I'm coming up here and I can't bring the dog in. My favourite lunch isn't lunch. My favourite lunch is afternoon tea. That's what I'd like. Lots of selection of sandwiches, some scones, or scones, some cream and jam, and some little cakes. But I couldn't have it every day because I'd be the size of a house. Oh, that changes with the moment. My favourite song at the moment is Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Or make myself a cup of tea and go and have a bath.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White, you're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for checking out your carts and your baskets. Keep the questions coming. I'm just going to go through the collection for you one more time. Then we've got another demo and we'll do some questions. Altia, I've seen yours. Fire them in now and we'll do one big final round of questions with Lily before we finish. Mary Beth Dorr just says, what a beautiful box. I never would have thought about applying the wax with a dauber. It's something that I've never seen before. I think we just get so used to seeing our guys use their fingers, don't we? And you think, well, that's the only way to do it. But you've got options there now as well, and it's always good to see. Very quickly, less than 100 showstoppers to go round. So if you want the best value, this is what you're going to get. Everything I'm showing you here is available individually. So if you do just want to pick and choose, maybe you want to try these out and you just want to recreate Lily's demos from the show, you can buy the individuals. If you just want the new embossing folders on their own, you can go for those. However, a lot of people, majority of people, going for the showstopper, which is the best value. So all of the designs that you're going to get here, brilliantly done. 3D design on these, so you get such an amazing imprint, if you like, of the various designs that you've got. Beautiful emboss, leaving you that space to be able to add, you know, a sentiment, add a topper, add some embellishments to it. That's the whole point of these. I think, again, you know, you think about your creator card dies, These, in my mind, are embossing folders that create that card with 1 past 4x6 in size, but then they give you the opportunity to be able to add just a little bit more to them. And as I say, in their simplest form, bit of matting and layering, adding some colour, whether you just want to ink over the top or colour them, add a sentiment, and then you're done. You've created a really, really quick and fantastic card. You've got sparkling snowflakes in there too. If you want to see a demo with that, you can go back to the start of the first hour of this show and see Lily's demo with that using the Duet ink pads, which are also on the show. Then you've got your holly and the candles. The holly and the candles. No, that's another one, isn't it? So you've got, yes, the beautiful Christmas foliage there, and then those beautiful candles. Next up, I mean, we've featured Christmas quite a lot in this set, but we do have other designs, as you're seeing here, with the beautiful butterfly. Again, demo 2 in the show, if you want to go back and see that from earlier in the show. And that was kind of, you know, taking this a little bit further in the fact that, yes, you can emboss, but then if you want to create even more 3D elements by creating toppers out of some of the details in the emboss, you can then emboss again, fussy cut out, and then, you know, you've got a beautiful butterfly, which you can piece over the top of the original butterfly or place elsewhere on the project. Then you've got your Celebrate champagne. So you've got that champagne bottle uncorked with the streamers and the balloons there as well. So great for any celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries. You've also got florals in here as well, your swirling florals. And once again, just a really, really handy design for all sorts of different occasions, featuring that beautiful rose. And once again, we've seen that in action on the show. Birthday cupcake, I think, is really nice. Again, something a little bit different in the fact that you've got your little cupcakes in the bottom there. You've got your balloons, again, all the streamers for all of those celebratory cards. And then lastly in the set is your festive bauble or festive ornament if you are in the US, giving you all of those fantastic designs of Christmas foliage and then all the baubles and the ornaments in there too. Those are all of the new designs of the 3D embossing folders. If you go for your showstopper, everything I've just shown you is included, and then you get your 60 sheets of multi-purpose cardstock. You're paying for that within the showstopper, but we then give you your 5 brushes, those blending brushes, for absolutely nothing. It is crazy, I agree. I can hear you shouting at home again, that's bonkers, Ben. I know, I didn't come up with the deal, but yes, they're back in stock and we're giving them away for free within the bundle. Hence that price on your screen. So it's £50.39 or $69.59 if you're a platinum member. Any of that you want individually, you can go for. Pick and choose your embossing folders. And as I say, the blending brushes are on the show too. So if you want to stock up on those, you can. If you then go for the showstopper and you want to make the best value for money out of it, you go for your bonus buy bundle as well, which is your metallic paint markers. You're going to get 18 pens in total here in your 6 different colours. Bottom of the screen for the details, you get 3 pens within each set. These will pretty much lay down onto anything for you. 3 different size nibs, and you've got the 6 different colours. So you have got your antique copper. You're going to get your Quicksilver. I don't have the actual pens for the other colours that you're going to get, but you can see the colours that you've got, the rose gold. This here gives you a bit of an idea of the different size nibs you're going to get within each of the pens. So your 4mm chisel, you've got your 3mm fine and that 0.7mm super fine nib. Then you've got your autumn bronze in there. Again, 3 pens, 3 different size nibs, beautiful champagne. And then lastly in the set is the blush. So it's £40, $50 once you've taken off your platinum discount there. You've also got that half price deal as well. So £32, isn't it? So that becomes £16 or 50, 40, $20 is all you will pay if you pop that into your basket with your showstopper. And again, if you just want those as an individual deal, you can. Hi Colleen, who says, I was playing with these embossing folders last night and actually used the finger daubers, and I played with the Duet shimmers on the Christmas embossing folders. Had fun with the inks and the daubers. Rhonda says, I love the brushes. They're immense, aren't they? And also, question from Altja, who says, can you do that also with ink in that way? I don't know what that relates to.
I wonder, do you mean, Altja, picking out the detail with different colours of ink with the finger daubers? Let us know if that's not what you mean, but absolutely you can do, yeah, and it's going to work an absolute treat. It's going to be a little bit less shiny, a little bit less metallic, but pick out those different areas with your finger daubers, with your inks, it's going to work a treat. Okie
dokie. Right, we've got one more demo. Last chance to any questions you want to ask Lily. I feel like we've been super interactive today, which is great, but get any more questions in. What's your last demo going to be?
Do you know what? I've just realised it's a little bit of a crafty Controversial, crafty conundrum.
Oh, right, okay.
Something that we get asked about time and time again, it's this little beast, it's vellum.
Oh.
How often do you guys at home ask us, I've got all this vellum, I've no idea what to do with it? Well, shall I show you a little way?
Come on.
I absolutely love this technique. This is like magic for me. Just every single time it gets me. It's a little bit like heat embossing. I just love this technique. So we're going to go in with our festive bauble, but of course you could be using any of the designs within the collection to do this technique. And we're going to take this beautiful embossing folder. Once again, it's 3D and we're using sort of double-sided vellum, so it doesn't matter which side of the folder we are placing this into whatsoever. We've trimmed our vellum ever so slightly smaller than that folder, so it's about 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now we're going to layer up our sandwich, same as usual. So you've got our base cutting plate, we've got our magnetic shim, and then we've got our frosted plastic shim that's going to go over the top, and then that's just going to run through the die cutting machine. And this is such a quick and easy technique. You know, sometimes you just want a quick card that's going to still look absolutely fabulous. It's still going to have that wow impact, but it's not going to take you hours on end to create. This is one of the techniques to go for when you're looking for one of those impact cards with very little effort. Now, we can't even see this quite properly, and it's still looking fabulous, but look at the depth and dimension you've got onto that embossed vellum. Isn't that absolutely exquisite? If you've ever done parchment craft before and you've done the white work, it gives you that same sort of effect that usually and traditionally would take us hours and hours on end. Beautiful techniques. Some of the people that do it are incredibly talented, but it's literally in seconds. How good is that?
I don't know why in my mind I think that vellum wouldn't be like thick enough to take it, if you know what I mean. But it works so beautifully.
I'll be honest, the first time I did this, I thought, you know what, shall I remove one of the shims? Is that going to be too thick? I did remove the shim, it didn't emboss. So I went with that same plate combination, and it embosses absolutely perfectly. It still gives us that crisp, deep emboss and deboss as well, but it doesn't rip or tear that cardstock. It looks absolutely stunning. Now, something I was just playing there while Ben was talking. I thought, you know what, I had this little sparkle pen next to me, and I thought, I wonder, because with vellum we need to be a little bit careful. We don't want to add too much liquid because then it'll start to blow and start to warp, which is obviously not what we want. But just picking out a few areas with our clear sparkle pen, making sure we're not saturating that vellum so it's not going to warp. We're just going to pick out a few details using your clear sparkle pen, and this is going to give it such a magical look. I think it's just beautiful. Look at that there onto the bow, and of course as that dries, that sparkle is going to intensify, but as we catch that in the light, you can see, there we go.
Oh
We've got our lovely shimmer and our shine onto our bow there, and of course we could be picking out a few more details. We just want to be careful as to not apply too much of our so obviously this is a water-based medium, we don't want to really saturate that vellum. We'll just go in and pick out a few details to really start to bling this up and bring it to life. How expensive, how exquisite does that look? But you saw that it was literally one pass through the die cutting machine that takes, what, 18 seconds if that? Just a matter of seconds to create that. Now with vellum, with it obviously being translucent, depending on what surface, what colour of cardstock we put it onto, it's going to look a little bit different. So it looks beautiful there onto white. But I found if I put a little bit of my mirror card beneath, it really starts to illuminate that beautifully. So what we'll do is we'll take our mirror card, we'll apply that onto our card base first of all, and our card base is measuring about 5 inches by 7 inches in size. So that means that my, is the lid off? Let's find out.
Alcha did mean that, she says.
Yay! Hopefully that helped you then.
Yeah.
And give it a go. It's a fun technique to be using all your inks with your embossing folders. So I'll pop our piece of silver mirror card onto the centre of our card base.
So reflective.
I know, you can see, hello, you can see me in it, there you go. You can see just about everything. Let's see what we can get around the studio. Can't get too much there. No. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well, that was
Nice
a great
idea.
idea till it didn't work. Never mind, back to the card. So we've got our piece that's going to go into the centre of there. So let's take our tape pen, and when it comes to sticking down vellum, you can get specialist sort of vellum and parchment glues. Unless it's a specialist glue, I wouldn't be going for one of my wet adhesives, just because it can, once again, sort of cause that vellum to wrinkle a little bit. So going in with my tape pen, this is a nice thick, good quality vellum, so it's not really visible around the edge, but we are going to cover the very edges of this anyway, so I'm not too concerned even if you can see a little bit of a tape at the top there. Because we're going to bring in, at this point, we're going to bring in our frame, and we'll be covering that with a sentiment as well, so don't worry if you can see a little bit of your tape at the top there. So a frame die cut from some of our white cardstock, and with that inner frame from some of our silver mirror cardstock to really start to draw the eye into this beautiful embossed design. So we'll just line that up and we'll stick it down just like so. And then just to finish it off and as well to cover that glue that we've got at the top there, we're going to go in with a little die cut sentiment. Actually, I'm just realising exactly the same sentiment as to the last card, or box even, but never mind. Do like this sentiment. Once again from the Juniper Frost collection. Super useful set of sentiments, that one. It's becoming a bit of a Christmas go-to.
Do you know what? As much as your projects have been amazing, I think this might be one of my favourites, and it's like the quickest one that you've done.
I know, isn't it funny? Sometimes you'll spend hours and hours on a card, and then you'll spend 5 minutes on a card, and it ends up being your favourite. But it's so easy.
Yeah.
But just to finish this off, let's bring in a few gems. So we've got bling from our lovely sparkle pen. We'll have a little bit of bling from a few of these gems. You could really go to town. I'm just going to add a couple onto there. But I'll just bring in one that I've done already that's got a few more gems on. Exactly the same technique. I think I might have added a little bit more sparkle pen onto that one. Still got a little bit carried away just a few minutes ago with that beautiful sparkle pen. Really difficult to show on camera, but in real life it has real impact with that beautiful vellum. How easy is it to create with vellum? And if you've got colour vellums, you can still do exactly that same technique, just onto a different shade of vellum. Love it, but so quick and easy.
Just such a brilliant set. I want to show you just a few samples I've got over here as well. We can have a look at some of Lily's too. Colin, you make me laugh. So a minute ago, Colin was saying, I was playing with these folders last night and I used the finger daubers and I used the Duet Shimmer ink pads, and now she's just messaged, Lily, were you somehow watching me last night whilst I was crafting? Because I used my clear sparkle pen on the embossed Christmas papers too, with the inks. Sparkles and changes the colour of the ink a little, and I love using the glitter pen. I use that a lot to give my craft some extra shine and bling.
Hey, Colin, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you were watching me prepping.
See, maybe that's what it was.
Maybe it was, or maybe it's just great minds think alike.
Probably. And Colin says, I haven't thought about using vellum though, and I will have to now. I always love it when the guys do stuff with vellum, because as Lily was sort of touching on, it's one of those things, isn't it, that always comes back with people going, like Lily says, I've got a load of vellum, I don't know what to do with it. Now you've got an amazing project with this set. I'll just show you some finished samples here, and as I said, I know Lily's got some on the other side as well. I absolutely love this box. So this was popped together by Carol. And once again, that is a case of, Lily, isn't it? Just embossing it down, adding the colour, and then embossing again, and then fussy cutting the bells.
Yeah, absolutely. What a stunner that one is. Absolutely gorgeous. Couple of different techniques there. Say the background has been done with ink and then Gildan Wax over the top. And I think Carol's used pens to colour those bells. Doesn't it look amazing? So impactful.
This one, and I think I know how this is done, but I love Sandy. So she's taken the snowflakes embossing folder and then cut into the area where you would put your sentiment, right?
Oh, what an amazing idea, Sandy. That is absolutely cracking. I love that. So using your nesting dice, just using half the circle to cut out that aperture, then just putting a little dangler on. Yeah. Love it. How creative is that? Once again, showing it in portrait orientation rather than landscape. Works a treat.
This next card, who's this? Sandy again. Right, so beautiful, beautiful looking card on the outside.
Nice.
Open it up.
Love it. Oh my goodness, that's a showstopper and a half, isn't it?
Look at that!
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a bit fancy.
I know, but all these ideas are just brilliant. And then this one here, again from Carol, just a really, really stunning card. Do you know what I love with this as well?
Oh, nice.
I love it when you have like the sort of outline of the matten layer, which is sort of like 1/4 of an inch, and then you have like a smaller matten layer to kind of highlight the actual main focal point of the project. But that's absolutely beautiful. And again, secondary cut that bauble or that ornament out, decorated, and then stuck on the front of the embossed folder, which is absolutely brilliant. And then just this one here, the final one that I've got to show you again, created by Carol. Just a really, really stunning project. And again, you can see coming into use there, that area that we've left blank for you, where you can pop your sentiments, pop, you know, a little ribbon in this case to create a really, really stunning project. You've got some more cards that side as well.
I certainly do. There is tons of gorgeous samples. The team has done such an amazing job, so thank you to all of the design team. Your samples are absolutely gorgeous, and I love the way that each and every single person on that team brings their own style, brings their own techniques to really show off these folders to their best. And this is a beauty by Marie. Marie, this is gorgeous. The colouring on here is outstanding. So she's coloured this, I believe, in alcohol pens, it looks like, for that beautiful detail there. Then she's added some of the clear sparkle pen over the top. Doesn't that look incredible? Vintage butterfly paper pad in the background as well, finishes it off absolutely perfectly. Then another stunner here by Marie. This, I think, is being coloured with some of your alcohol pens, but then she's gone over the top with some of the Gildan Wax, and doesn't that really bring it to life? It gives it that beautiful metallic lustre, that metallic sheen. Looks so luxurious, doesn't it? absolutely stunning. Then we move on to another of our gorgeous
Wowee.
Christmas designs here. This one's by our Julia, absolutely stunning. And the whole front of a card here is actually created in acetate.
Acetate, I was going to say, is that acetate?
Isn't that cool? Absolutely love that. Then bringing in some of your gorgeous inks there. She's coloured using some of the tri-blend pens, and she's brought out some of those metallic pens. So the ones that you've got as part of your bonus buy, she's actually picked out some of the detail using those amazing pens, and doesn't that look fabulous? And then we've got another one here from Julia. Love this. It's combining a couple of techniques here, a couple of different mediums. So she's gone in with her some of her water reactive inks to sort of start off and build off that colour to that gorgeous design. And then she's picked out the detail and added that further sort of finesse, if you like, using some of her actually aqua pencils onto there. Doesn't that look amazing? That rose, what a stunner.
And I love the jaunty angle as well of it. Just a little touch.
Yeah, I think that looks lovely. And a beautiful foiled sentiment as well. Doesn't that just finish it off perfectly? Talk about luxurious. And then finally, just one more here from Julia. I love this cupcake. I do love my cake. Do love all the icing on here. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. Using your glitter pens as well, some of your water reactive inks. So she's actually picked out all these areas using inks and watercolouring with your water reactive inks, which of course you can do with them being water-based. Doesn't that just look so much fun? Love the fact that you can bring in all your mirror cards, bring in your gems, have a route through all your older pattern papers and bring those in. It looks absolutely outstanding. But how much fun is that? We've gone all the way from Christmas to fun cards. It could be every day. It could even be sympathy with that flower. It's one of those collections that just encompasses so much different occasions, and there's so many techniques you can do with it as well. I think you guys at home are going to love it just as much as we do here in the studios.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate everything as far as the deal's concerned. We're into double figures left of the showstopper now, so if you want the best value for money, make sure you get that in your cart and get it checked out when we finish in just a few moments' time. Lynn says, what beautiful samples, amazing cards and boxes, team, says Karen Cronin. And Alex says, I still have to start with my Christmas cards. You've got time, it's fine. It's, what is it now? Oh, actually, no, it's the end of August. But you're fine. It's good. Plenty of time. Does anyone else think, like, where the heck has this year gone? I know we say it every year, but 2024 has gone by in the blink of an eye.
It's scary. And do you know what? I keep thinking it's 2023.
Yeah.
It's quite embarrassing. I've said it a few times and people have been like, do you know what year it is? I'm like, it's 2023, isn't it? They're like, no, it's 2024.
2024.
Oh dear. And it's nearly over as well.
It is nearly over.
Oh dear. I know. September, what was it? Sunday, September, isn't it?
September the 1st on Sunday.
Oh my God.
Kids go back to school, next week.
Do they? Oh, blimey me. You know, it's true what they say. I know it's one of those that your parents said it when you were younger and you rolled your eyes and you laughed, but the older you get, the faster time goes.
It's true. It's true. Wait till you're 45.
Oh dear. That old. Oh.
Old.
He creaks when he walks.
Anyway, my time's running out. That sounds better, isn't it?
Oh dear, wow. You're 45 after all.
Yeah, but time's running out. Might not get to the end of the show. No, the time, not my time, the time is running out on the show. So quickly show you the showstopper. Again, all of the designs you are going to be receiving within this set. So this is your festive bauble. That's the one that I just showed you that card of just a few moments ago. I'll show you again, actually, because it's nice to see the samples. Where's it gone? This one that Carol popped together, same folder, using that beautiful design, just cutting it or embossing it again and cutting out the bauble or the ornament to create that beautiful project. This one is your birthday cupcake, which we saw just a few moments ago. So all the beautiful cupcake designs there, the balloons, the streamers. You've got the swirling florals, which is that beautiful rose. I feel like you've demoed with the majority of these, and if we haven't done a demo, we've seen them all in kind of card form as well, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. I tried when we had a little look through those samples. I did try and show you all the designs, so hopefully you've got a flavour of everything you're getting as part of the collection.
That one's your bottle of champagne, so your champers, again with the streamers and the balloons. This one here is that beautiful butterfly. Again, go back if you didn't see it to the start of the show where Lily was demonstrating with that set. Then you've got, and what's quite nice again, as Lily's touched on, you've got sort of more festive examples, but then you do have sets like the butterfly, which will work for you year round. That one's your holly and your candles. This one is the sparkling snowflakes. Again, if you go back to the start of the show, you'll be able to see Lily demo with that, and that's the one there that Sandy created that really cool card with the little dangler, the dangling snowflake. And then lastly in this set is your Christmas bells. And like we said, again, particularly for the fact that you can emboss and then snip those out. I think those bells will work for, you know, lots of different occasions. Yes, it's definitely very Christmas, but also could be, you know, like a wedding card or whatever it might be. That beautiful box, by the way, again, put together by Carol. So some brilliant samples. Brilliant embossing folders. All of those are obviously available individually. You can buy those just as that bundle I've shown you just there. However, the majority of people have gone for that showstopper. We're into double figures remaining of that. So if you want to get it, you pay for the brand new folders and also 60 sheets of your multi-purpose card. And then for free, we give you your blending brushes. So those are free within the bundle, giving you that platinum price of just £50.39 or £69.59. And again, just to reiterate, if you go for the remaining showstoppers, you then get the opportunity to get your bonus buy, which is the metallic paint markers. An 18 pen set really is what you're going to be getting here, because you get 6 sets of your 3 pens. I've only got 2 of the actual sets to show you here in the studio, but within each of the sets, you've got your 0.7mm super fine nib, your 3mm fine, and then your 4mm chisel nib as well. And these really do give you that metallic shimmer, that metallic shine, and will go on to pretty much any surface. So you've got your molten copper 3 pen set. There's your quicksilver. And then you're also going to get 3 pens in your blush. So again, just on the board, we've illustrated the sort of size of the nib on each one, so you get a bit of an idea how that's going to look when you lay it down. You've got the champagne. You also have your autumn bronze, absolutely love, and then the rose gold in there too. So that price at the bottom of the screen is if you just buy the bundle outright. If you pop it into your basket with your showstopper, you can halve that price. That is that bonus buy bundle. Final last check, see if we've got any last minute questions coming through, which we haven't. I think we're all done, but we are going to be back later on tonight. Launch party. Now, slightly different. So you're going to be here for the first hour, aren't you?
I certainly am, yeah. So hopefully pack a couple of demos in. Sorry, guys, I do have to go home and pack for Hobby Maker tomorrow. But we will be here for an hour, and Ben will be here for 2 hours. So that means Ben's going to be demoing for the second half of the show. That's going to be fun, right? Right?
Hey, it's going to be fun. And you know, when I'm over that side, anything could happen, and probably will. And I'll need you guys there to chat to me as well, because if I'm on my own, it will be very lonely otherwise. So tell everybody. First hour with Lily. And I guess, are you going to be doing lots with this?
We'll definitely be incorporating that beauty. It's stunning. I love the colours in this. I know so many people at home, so many people I'm seeing as well on social media are decorating their homes for autumn. They're bringing out those autumn crafts already, and this is going to slot into that absolutely perfectly. The designs are gorgeous. The sort of designs that are not going to fight with a lot of things. They're going to work really seamlessly with lots of items you've got in your crafty stash. We might have a collection which you could be using this with that's launching later this week.
Yes, we might.
Very well might, but this is going to be fabulous all year round. Don't just think about it if you're autumnal cards. It's just a beautiful paper pad in stunning shades.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably get in trouble because it's not officially supposed to launch till tonight, but you know what? We thought we'd give you the bit of the sneaky peek heads up on this, so you can grab it now. It is live on the website, so you can grab it, maybe multi-order, but as Lily said, certainly launch is coming up soon, which this will work really nice with. But if you've bought any of our Halloween collections so far, any of those fall cards, then again, I think this is a paper pad which is going to give you multiple uses out of. Again, those are all the designs on the back, 36 single-sided sheets, and it is officially launching tonight on Launch Party. So that first hour with the both of us, and the second hour will be me. Colleen says, I've loved this show and all the tips and ideas using the embossing folders. Thank you, Ben and Lily. I think it's safe to say, Lily, as I said to you in one of the breaks a minute ago, what's been nice about this is they're really detailed embossing folders, but they can allow you to make stunning looking cards, and you don't need to be next level crafter to use them, do you?
Absolutely. That's the brilliant thing about these. They are very much a leveler. Everyone, regardless of your skill level, is going to get that beautiful embossed design. It's just up to you how far you take that. Colours, card sockets going to look beautiful, but bring out those pens, bring out those paints, and you can take it up to that next level. I just love them.
Now we are done, so get to the checkout. Get your goodies checked out. Make sure if you want to get that showstopper, you go fairly quickly because the stock is running out there. And we will meet you back here in, 3 hours' time, live at 5 for what is going to be a fantastic show. Thank you so much to Lily, again, stepping in for Debbie. And we will be back tonight for that launch party for some brilliant deals and launches that you might have missed. Until then, bye for now.